Evening all, and welcome to your Friday night fling here at the MODUS Super Series. 10 games to decide the final 3 spots into finals night tomorrow evening here on the South Coast. And as the temperature ratchets up inside the auditorium, as too does the action. And night 1 saw a couple of players really take control of the group. Trina Gulliver failed to pick up a win last night, but if she can replicate some of the levels we've seen from her in the past here, she could become a spoiler on night 2. Harry Gregory started slow, but managed to pick up a couple of victories towards the end of the session, although he knows he needs to up his levels if he wants to get through to tomorrow night. Benjamin Drew picked up 4 points himself in the opening night, and although he finds himself precariously placed, he'll feel encouraged by his levels of performance. Owen Bates came racing out the tracks winning each of his opening 3 matches before losing out to Rhys Griffin in the last game of the session. A win which has put the Welshman to the top of the pile, responding well from his Group A disappointments. Yeah, Griffin was the trash man to Bates's hopes of completing the card. Paul Nicholson is alongside me up here on the balcony this evening to look ahead to what we are going to see tonight. And it was quite fair to say that on the opening evening in Group B, them two were head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, I think that's very fair to say. I think when you look at what Benjamin's done this week, he's moseyed along, and I suppose he's had too many darts at double for his liking. We'll get into that throughout the course of tonight's campaign, but Owen looked really comfortable with the format. I think the way that Rhys Griffin responded from the end of Group A going into Group A, I think he deserves an awful lot of credit, because he could have come into Group B yesterday evening with his shoulders slumped, thinking, I probably shouldn't be here, but he didn't look that way. And by the sound of what he was saying to us earlier tonight when he was practicing, he didn't feel that way. So I applaud his professionalism.
Most certainly. Right, we'll talk about Group B a little bit more in just a second, but let's assess what we've seen so far this week by having a look at the tournament bracket, because we've seen our first 3 players make their way through. Conor Heenahan winning Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday respectively, and then this afternoon we saw Ryan Harrington and Anton Oslu make their way through Group C. Ryan Harrington was through by the time we joined Sporty Stuff TV at 3 o'clock. Anton Oslu, though, we had to wait for it.
He had to work pretty hard in the end, and things were getting a bit sticky towards the 4th round, especially of the matches in Group C this afternoon. But the way he responded in the 5th round to get the job done, it just goes to show that he can get the job done when the pressure is on. I think his first experience here this week has been very, very tough. 5 consecutive days of darts, and now he'll have a good night's sleep, and hopefully he's got something left in the locker.
Well, we're going to see them tomorrow night. But who else are we going to see on Saturday evening? Now, that's what we're going to find out over the next 3 hours or so as far as Group B is concerned. This is how the table looks after the first night's worth of action. Owen Bates had the opportunity to complete the card if he could get the better of Rhys Griffin in the final game of the session. But a comprehensive win for Griffin means that is he ahead of Bates on legs difference, with Benjamin Drew the player on 4 points alongside Harry Gregory. Let's talk about Benjamin, because 4 points from his night. Could he feel a little bit aggrieved because of his levels of performance? Maybe.
I think he has been a little bit erratic this week. He's had some good performances, but too many performances in there that will make him scratch his head. And that can't continue for the rest of the week. He might have the luxury of maybe 1 or even 2 losses tonight, but you just get the feeling that that leg difference buffer that he's got over Harry Gregory is going to have to be maintained in the first couple of rounds just to feel comfortable with his position.
As far as Harry Gregory is concerned, he lost his first 2 games, won his last 2 games, but he's going to know that he's going to have to up his levels tonight.
Yeah, that's very fair to say. I think if you look at his cumulative average and the amount of darts of double that he didn't hit, he's definitely not going to be happy with his level of performance. I think when he went to bed at around 2 in the morning, when the first night was finished, he'll have thought to himself, 4 points. Yeah, that feels good, but you've got to look deep inside and survey what you've done, and he won't be happy with his level of performance at all.
Well, let's have a look then at the outrights going into tonight's session. Owen Bates stays the favourite to win the group at 5-4. Rhys Griffin 15-8, second favourite. Where for you does the value lie, if there's value there at all?
I think if you are looking for value, it's going to have to be Benjamin, but he's going to have maybe the most consistent day of play that he's had all week. It's possible, but it does depend on what his engine is like. We saw from Anton Osland a little bit earlier today that he did start to tire at certain points, but I suppose it depends how Benjamin adjusts to his second night of play.
Well, let's see what the bet builder's saying this evening. It's a treble. It's a short price treble tonight. Priced just over 3-1. And they're saying in the total legs department, Drew Roos against Griffin to go over 5.5. They've got Griffin to get the better of Harry Gregory, 4 legs to 2 or better. And then Benjamin Drew Roos to do exactly the same against Trina Gallagher. Thoughts on them?
Yeah, it's not the biggest of prices on the accumulator, just over 3-1. But when you consider some of the fixtures that we had last night and the strength of performance between, say, the top 3 and the bottom 2. I know that Chris Mason has had a few words about some of the bet builders this week, and I think he's been spot on, but I think he may agree with me on this one, that one is fairly good, and I think that's why the accumulation price is quite low.
Just quickly, first game of the night. Obviously, both players are out there behind us right now, but both will know that this first result could possibly set the tone for tonight for better or for worse.
I think what it could set the tone for is who wins the group. I think that I'm not going to say I think, I have every faith in these two qualifying tonight. I think they're the 2 best players in the group, and they're the most explosive as well. But I think it's good for them that they get this fixture out the way so that they can just lay the groundwork for getting the job done in their next 3 matches.
Definitely a good way to start.
Couldn't get any better. It was a great finish last night. I expect a great start.
Well, we are looking forward to this. It's some Friday night fun here at the MODUS Super Series, and we kick off with Rhys Griffin up against Owen Bates. Paul Nicholson's going to make his way down to the commentary box to describe all the action in the company of Chris Mason. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Henry. Good evening, everybody. Well, what a way to start this Friday night session. This game did not disappoint. It was the final game of last night's session. It went by the way of Rhys Griffin, who was the 2-1 dog in this race. Owen was 4-11 favourite. Owen's average 94.28, 1/180, 2 from 8 on the doubles, a finish of 98. Rhys winning 4-2 with a 96.18, 1/180, 4 out of 9, a 101 finish and a 149 to get over the line. It was special. And this, of course, in terms of
first
qualification,
to throw first.
Big game. Put it this way, for me, the winner of this game is pretty much home and hosed.
134.
And last night, it was Owen who had the darts. Well, roles are reversed in this one. And it's Rhys with the honour.
60.
And he has been priced as the 4-9 favourite. As the 11-10. And Owen 4-6, still favourite, despite throwing second.
97.
Evening, Nico.
Evening, Mace. Thrilled to be here once again to see the climax of Group B, to see who will complete the field for tomorrow night.
Yeah, and just before you got back from being up there on the balcony, I said if whoever wins this one for me is pretty much home and hosed and into tomorrow night's final. Remember, it's 3 from 5, everybody.
60.
That qualifies out of the Group B.
I've got 2 points to make about what you've just said. In fact, let's make it 2.5 because I agree with what you've just said. That's the half. The first point being, I think what we could get from these two, if they do win this first game, or indeed qualify quite quickly, is a little bit of relaxed brilliance from them later on.
Yeah, I think they dominate the rest of the group.
And I think if there's one player that could really use an early qualification tonight, it's Rhys Griffin after everything he went through in Group A.
Yeah. Yeah, he did have the opportunity to win Group A.
Game shot on the first leg, Rhys Griffin.
Yeah, he did have the opportunity to win Group A, just come up short. But there was 3 players all on 20 points in Group A. It went down to leg difference.
Yeah, that was a good first leg from Owen Bates. Got himself a maximum in it, but didn't get a shot at a double. And that ton plus checkout from Rhys Griffin just tells Owen that he's in the same sort of mood as last night. Or should I say, the early part of Friday morning.
Yeah, well, the 101 was great, wasn't it? But the 149 to win it 4-2 was
57.
just spectacular.
Yeah, those finishes definitely please you because they are not the kind of finishes where you can get 2 trebles in the same department and then go to a double.
93.
You have to search,
Yep.
and 3 pinpoint shot checkouts like that, they really do breed confidence.
Well, we're on that magical number. And Nico
84.
has a big thing for it, the 350, because it can be done in 6, the perfect 6.
Well, we'll have to wait. Am I the only person in the world who really likes a 350
No,
and 6?
I love it. It just doesn't happen often enough for me.
I was having a conversation with someone about 6 months ago, and they said, well, how would somebody leave 350? And I never thought about it until that moment. And I said, if someone gets a ton to start, they might then get a 20, get a 19, and then they go for a treble 18 with get a treble 4.
120.
So it's 51 off a ton, and then he leaves 350.
Yeah.
56. Reese require 126.
For another ton plus checkout for a third in a row against Owen Bates. Needs another 19 for the bullseye.
84.
Wait, a dart wasn't a million miles away.
64. Game
Clean.
shot the second leg, Owen Bates.
That was a whistle. Great stuff. Bates last night posted
Third leg Reese to throw
the
first.
biggest
Game
daily average of the week, 89.95. But there's a caveat to that, because the second best of the week was posted by Griffin, 200ths behind him.
Yeah, and that was with an average of a 76.62 in there. That was the
54.
opening game of the night. He was just out of sorts. He won 4-0. But he missed 18 darts at a double, hence the average.
60.
But from that point on, he was beautiful. 3 averages, all well in excess of 90.
Yeah, I think sometimes when, and
44.
I'm especially party to this, that we can look at an accumulative average for the night and it can be somewhat unfair to look at that. I know that it's numbers and numbers don't lie,
134.
but if you look at it and take out something like that, you get a better picture of how somebody played over the course of the evening.
100.
Yeah, which is what I always say when people comment on games by just looking at averages and not watching the actual game itself. You can have a game that's gone 7 legs. You could have had 6.
134.
A mixture of 6 legs of 10s, 14s, 13s, and 11s, but one where they missed the Oster doubles. That doesn't make it a bad game. It makes a great game with one bad leg in it.
Absolutely.
50.
Double top for a 2-1 advantage.
Game shot in the third
And
leg.
this is
Reese
another
Griffin.
good quality game. Feels to me like Reese Griffin is starting to put something together.
Fourth leg Owen to
Well, he had a lot of
first.
belief
Game on.
coming into this week, and he's, for the most part, he's backed that up.
100.
He does have a fabulous support system behind him. Not bad when your mother-in-law is Lisa Ashton, is it?
Yeah, his girlfriend Danielle will be
58.
watching.
Yep. Sure, she's extremely proud, as all the family are this week, of Reese.
No chance of them coming down if he
100.
makes tomorrow? Sorry, probably when, because I've got
Yeah.
no doubt in my mind that Reese is going to
Yeah,
make Saturday.
It's a bit of a dap, isn't it? Bolton to Portsmouth.
81.
But you never know. They got enough time to get a minibus together and
137.
bring a bit of a troop down.
I'll tell you one thing, if he makes his way to Champions Week, definitely be coming down.
94.
He makes Champions Night on November 4th.
164. 50.
There is that treble 4 that we talked about.
Yeah, he's left himself still a bit to do, so Reese can find a 140 or...
Look at the bull now.
Yep.
86.
Yeah, 'cause the
so in
25 would have left a finish.
114.
It's that advanced
58.
advanced maths catching me out again. I'd have been all over the treble 20, mate.
I wonder what he can leave from this position, because 56 is
94.
by no means a
When
gimme.
you require 56.
Well, especially when you're trailing 2-1. You know what pressure makes.
36. Race you require 88.
This is an unexpected opportunity.
Yeah. Should get a dart at the ball. It's going to get 2 at double 14.
72. When you require 20.
That might be one of the worst darts he's thrown all week. Is he going to pay for it?
10.
Well, he can't believe that didn't nestle into the double
Race you
five.
require
Our referee,
16.
Danny McNamara, had to give that another look.
Double 8 for 3-1. And he doesn't like it. He's going to like that, though.
Race Griffin.
He's going to like that a lot. It's a break of throw at the perfect time, because now he has the dart still in it.
Fifth leg
4-1.
race
So let's
to
look at
Thoreau
the
first.
predicament in the
Game
table
on.
then, because if Griffin does convert this leg on his throw, he goes to 8 points, and his leg difference will swell to +9. That looks very rosy. He's pretty much
91.
2 more points away from being in the top 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's game to. He's going to play his, in my opinion, and I say this with all the respect in the world, his
100.
2 toughest games tonight are coming in his opening 2 matches. If he can get my thoughts, well, we discussed this today. Our thoughts was if he can get 1 out of them
100.
2 wins, he's pretty safe.
You come into the night with the mentality that you want to win all 4 games, but
100.
based on the threat level that Chris is talking about, you're playing Owen in your first game. He's arguably the most decorated
76.
player in this group from a Super Series point of view. So you want to get rid of him. If you can get those 2 points, you're already ahead of the curve.
Well, yeah, because you
100.
know he's going to do damage against the rest of the field.
Correct. These could be allies for the rest of the night. But then when it comes to tomorrow night, they could be adversaries again.
Yeah, well,
55.
these two are good pals, aren't they?
How could you not be friends with Owen? He's one of the nicest kids you've ever met.
Yeah, they both are.
177.
Play a little bit of mirror darts here. Reese, why don't you just leave double 1?
99. When you require
I'd
24.
get rid of this if I were you, Owen. He likes double 12 on that stage. It got him his weekly title against Leonard Gates.
Yeah, that was after the back of a 1-7-4,
Game shot of the fifth
wasn't it?
leg, Owen Bates.
Oh, a lovely way to break back. 14 darts.
Sixth leg Owen to throw first. Game on.
Certain players this week have exuded a little bit of stress. You just don't get that from this tall young man.
100.
No, even when he's under it, seems to just carry on as normal.
100.
Conditions this week haven't been perfect. It has been very humid and at times very hot in Portsmouth. You've got
100.
to manage yourself well.
Yeah,
And for the people who are playing 5 to 6 days, it's a grind.
Yeah, I think the advantage, it's such a tall building with
55.
well, the highest ceilings you could have because they're part of the roof. So it does stay a little bit cooler than, imagine if this
140.
had a low ceiling. Would be like an oven in there,
Do you think there's an advantage to the people playing the evening session because it's
for sure.
probably around about 10
140.
Yeah.
When you
to
require
12 degrees
160.
cooler.
Even the walk-in.
One thing that's going through my mind is when
41.
Owen did get that weekly title win in the final against Leonard Gates, he was 3-1 down and won 4-3. So don't count him out.
134. When you require
And the
120.
closer this game is, the worse it is for Harry Gregory. Double top to stop Reese from getting a match shot.
Like, come darting.
Game
Left,
shot
right,
the
left,
six leg,
right.
Owen Bates.
What a beautiful dart. 120 out for a 15, so
7th and final leg
Facing
race to throw first.
defeat at
Game
3-1
on.
down. He's produced a 177 and a 14 darter, followed it up with a 120 checkout for a 15. Backs up exactly what you said. When under
99.
pressure, he produces.
He's like one of those tribute bands, isn't he? He's not Panic at the Disco. He's no Panic at the Disco.
140.
Don't panic, Mr. Mannering.
That was the old Clive Dunn, wasn't it?
46.
What a character.
Don't tell him your name, Pike.
100.
You stupid boy.
And he's already taken the darts away, but Reese is responding.
125.
Got a little tight on the final dart, but
Yeah, that single 5 just leaves him on an awkward number. But we've already seen in this match that
60.
he can skirt different parts of the board to leave a finish. He might even need the 25 at the end. He doesn't now.
96.
They're very, very evenly matched at this point in time.
yeah, I think
140.
these two could go on to have a
Race require
real
135.
over the next 10 years, possibly.
We finished with a 149 last night. How about a 135? Oh, it was
110.
close.
It was going in
Owen
before it
requires 61.
clipped the flight.
Speaking of 25s, he didn't want one. He gets one dart.
Game
And it
shot
hits.
And the match, Owen
A
Bates.
sensational first game between two very good young players. It's 1-1 between these two this week. And I'll tell you one thing, sitting on the fence right now, I want to see those guys go at it again. But the way they're playing, it looks like they're going to be good for Saturday night. But more work for Rhys Griffin to do a little bit later on tonight, as he's got 3 games left to seal his place in Saturday. Owen Bates is just a little bit closer. When we come back, it will be the first match of the night for Benjamin Drew Roos up against Harry Gregory.
Well, here at the MODUS Super Series, we've been doing a lot of talking about the chances of Owen Bates over the next couple of days. And that result was kind of as to why, keeping his cool in the big moments against Rhys Griffin to run out a 4-3 victor. And so it's Bates who gets to 8 in that particular group. Next up for us then, it is the two players who begin tonight on 4 points. So this game could be important in terms of table positioning as Harry the Hawk Gregory takes on Benjamin Drew Roos, the flying star from Denmark. And we have 2 stars down in the commentary box. It's Paul Nicholson and Chris Mason.
Thanks again, Henry. Nice to welcome back the 18-year-old from the northwest of England, former World Youth finalist in the Junior Darts Corporation. And this man from Denmark is playing his 5th consecutive day. I wonder how his engine is feeling as he takes on Harry in this first match. And he's already seen 2 players who had 6 points at the start of the night go at it hammer and tongs. Now, Benjamin is up against someone who shares his position of 4 points. Whoever wins this will join
First leg,
Rhys
Harry
Griffin
to
on 6
throw
points.
first. Game on.
And they will also have seen 2 players
83.
operate at a high level and put down somewhat of a bit of a marker. Almost saying if you want to
97.
keep up with this, lads, this is what kind of numbers you're going to have to produce.
Yeah, when you consider what I said at the start of the first match,
140.
they'd put in, both Griffin and Bates, the best daily averages of the week when they were playing 4 matches last night.
140.
They both performed above that level.
Yep.
By about 2 to 2.5 points. So in order for these players to keep up with that, just to give you an indication of where they were yesterday, Benjamin's probably going to have to up him his averages by about 5 to 6%, whereas Harry's going to have to find close to 20%.
Yeah, well, you spoke of the engine, and it was that's a great point, because this was a match that we certainly didn't expect Ben to lose last night, and neither did the odds compilers. They made him a 3 to 10 shot. And Harry was 12 to 5, but it was Harry that ended up winning. And it was a very tired-looking Benjamin.
97. Harry requires 16.
I just wondered if he was suffering from the old
Game
dreaded
the first leg,
dart
Harry
lag.
Gregory.
Well, as far as Harry's concerned, I want to have a comparison between that 13 darter and his very first leg from yesterday. I think there's a difference of 18 darts.
Yep. It was a 31 darter, wasn't it?
So maybe yesterday he was feeling a bit nervous, and I've already noticed that he's standing a bit more central on the hockey.
Maybe
57.
Another player watching back the coverage to try and see an area of where they may be able to improve and improve quickly.
26.
No pressure, Benjamin, but your good pal Anton's already in Saturday night. He might want some Scandinavian company.
58.
At the minute, we have an Irishman, an Englishman, and a Swede. Sounds like a really bad joke. It's no joke, though.
It's like the Eurovision.
100.
Can we just deliver the points? Just like that. This is Portsmouth calling. Sweden, 2
41.
points. Ireland, 4 points. Denmark, 6 points. I think you get the joke. I've gone a bit far. But there you go. He gets 180 points for that.
And that was no joke.
58. Benjamin, you require 135.
Yeah, this is a better leg. Doesn't have the darts in this contest, and if you think about what happened yesterday,
95.
the fact that he lost that game with the throw makes it even more surprising.
Yeah, in the deciding leg as well.
96. Benjamin, you require 40.
Double top. Yeah, for Benjamin.
Game shot
And
the
it
second
doesn't
leg,
get any better
Benjamin
than that.
Drews.
That is smack bang in the middle. Yesterday, Benjamin was 32% on the doubles.
Third leg,
And
Harry to throw first.
a lot of
Game
the
on.
time, that's okay. But that was actually an improvement on what he did in Group A by 3%.
140.
Far too many times this week he has had a game where he's gone missing on the outer ring. Just 1 or 2 games a day.
Yep.
A lot of the time he's been doing good
82.
stuff.
That's bringing his, obviously, it's bringing his overall average well down.
Yeah, 84.77 for last
57.
night. That was a good point down on what he did in Group A as well. So he did decrease his productivity.
45.
But it doesn't mean he won't kick into gear tonight. The ingredients are there. He just needs to mix them together correctly.
Yeah, end up making a rather tasty
100.
pie.
Actually reminds me of something that
I
spoke about with-
180.
our colleague Rob Malarkey when we were at the 2019 Danish Darts Open. I'll bring it up in the next leg
140.
because I want to see who takes the lead here. Harry's playing really well in his own throw.
Yeah, he's averaging 93.6, which is a massive improvement
100.
on
Harry requires 64.
all of last night's levels.
Double top.
Game shot in the third leg.
Well,
Harry.
hello,
victory.
Harry.
2 out of 2. A 13 dart hold, followed
Fourth leg
by a
Benjamin to
14 dart
throw
hold.
first.
Yeah, that's quite impervious when you think about it. But yeah, 2019 Danish Darts Open. I was sitting next to Rob Malarkey and
134.
he thought he'd get one up on me and find out something about Peter Wright. And he said, Peter Wright
100.
has got something rather Danish in relation to merchandise that no other dart player has ever had. And I found myself really lost. And I just turned to him and I said,
100.
what, Peter Wright bacon? Because the Danes are very famous for their bacon. He started to laugh
91.
because he didn't expect the answer. But he said, no, Peter Wright has got his own Lego figure.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, there's only one. They
100.
purposefully made it for him. It
A
is very,
special.
very impressive little thing.
For Lego collectors, I bet that's
Yeah.
worth an absolute chunk.
140.
Yeah, that's a
Benjamin
golden
require
goose piece
167.
of merchandise, that one. I don't think we've got a 167 in our collection this week, but we do have a 170, and it was hit against Benjamin yesterday.
Oh, 121.
Somebody
Benjamin
tell me who
require
this young man
28.
is, because he's playing very differently to Harry Gregory
Yeah, I
from
think,
yesterday.
last
Benjamin
night's must have been an
Ruiz.
imposter. This is fabulous from both at the moment. The longest leg we've had in 4 is a 16
Fifth leg
darter.
Harry to throw first. Game
What
on.
a game of darts.
103 the average for Benjamin. Harry 98 on the nose.
Do you get the feeling that maybe
92.
yesterday he was just caught in the headlights
Yeah.
a bit, and today it feels a lot more familiar?
For sure. I had a missed start at a double. That's the end of that then.
45.
Every little metric we look at is super impressive.
I also like the fact that the 4 checkouts we've had so far have been quite
59.
low. That tells you that the scoring and the approach play has been impeccable.
$60.
I said, couldn't they match what we just seen from Reese and Owen? Well, they're trumping that at the moment.
100.
There's a lot going on with that action from Harry, but you can classify it as quite flamboyant.
Yeah, when he gets it right, he gets it
100.
right. But that's the problem with it. It's when it's just off.
He does remind me of Bradley Brooks a bit.
Yeah.
42.
And I mean that as a compliment, because Bradley's a fabulous player.
$100.
I wonder if he can hold again.
Answering your question, Nico.
180.
3-1-8, he's in the game, and that is Harry's first. Averaging 100 on his own throw. If he
60.
hits this with the first
Harry
dart,
require 28. Game
That
shot
is
the
a
fifth leg,
wonderful
Harry
hold of
Gregory.
throw. Changes the leg with that maximum and snaps the treble 20 and a
Like
half
Benjamin
to give
throw
himself
first.
a clean look at double 14 and bingo, right out the trap.
5 darts at a double in the match. All have been hit with the 1 dart. 3 from 3 for Harry. 2 from 2 for Benjamin.
Well, I
43.
don't know about you, but overnight when I was doing my numbers, and we watched all of the games last night in commentary, of course, but I'm thinking to myself, based on
57.
the level of play that we saw on Thursday night and Friday morning, it's going to have to be Benjamin, it's going to have to be Griffin, it's going to have to be Bates. But now,
180.
I'm not sure if I'm changing my mind yet, but this is a difference-making performance.
Yeah, well,
92.
I'm identical to you. I looked through all the numbers and I just couldn't make a case for anything but the top 3. Not necessarily in order. Not that clever. If I was, I'd be a billionaire.
85.
I had Bates, Griffin, and Benjamin.
Well, just to give you an indication of our insight,
140.
Gregory averaged 70.83 yesterday. This is 27 points better than that.
95.
That's 9 per dart.
That's a sign.
I hope so.
60. Benjamin, you require
Benjamin
98.
has been involved in some dramas this week. And he has been in games averaging around 97 a couple of times. But wouldn't this be something?
58.
152.
Harry, you require 152.
It's on. Give it a
140.
really good look.
Benjamin,
That
you
was a
require
warning
40.
sign to Benjamin, who looks for the 6th consecutive hold of throw in this match. He can't miss double 10,
30.
and that might be that.
Harry, you require 12.
It could be top 3 for Harry.
Six.
That was the first
Benjamin, you
missed darts
require
at doubles
10.
from both.
Things are getting edgy. That was not a good single.
No, not a convincing
6.
single one. Clips the wire on double 2.
Harry, you require 6.
Double 3 is not easy. It does have the option of 2 double 2.
Game.
But
shot,
straight
and
in.
a match. Harry
And 4-2
Gregory.
as well. He wins by 2 clear legs. So now, when he needs to make inroads in the points and the leg difference over the course of the night, that's the kind of performance that's going to do it. His best performance by an awfully long way. In fact, by about 17 points. This is a different Harry Gregory. Welcome to the Super Series, Harry. Benjamin has got work to do. When we come back, we will say a very good evening to the 10-time world champion, that is Trina Gulliver.
And what a difference a night makes. Harry Gregory moves on to 6 points before the break for 4-2 victory against Benjamin Drew-Roos. Really good performance there. 93.2 for the average and 5-7 on the doubles. Looks as if those opening night nerves have come and gone. Really intriguing battle coming up next. Owen Bates on 8 points in the group, taking on Trina Gulliver. Clash of generations, this one. And interesting fun fact for you was by the time Owen Bates was born, Trina Gulliver was already a 2-time champion of the world. But they're on the hockey here as equals here tonight. And watching this one in the commentary box is Paul and Chris.
Thank you very much. I think she would have played plenty of young players over the years and still been a world champion when they were born. But
First
this
leg
is just
going
another
to
challenge for
Caruthers.
Trina.
Game on.
She has 0 points after the first night and another 8 points on offer here on Friday.
60.
But by the looks of it, this may be too much for her to do because Gregory's already on 6 points. Griffin's already on 6 points. Bates is already on 8. And if he beats Trina in this one, 6 points won't be good enough, especially when your leg difference is minus 11.
100.
So there is a degree of freedom about what Trina is doing tonight. She's doing a little bit of experimenting with stem length. And she is using a dart that is a lot lighter than we originally thought from yesterday, Chris.
62.
Yeah, she's gone down from, what's she at, 27 down to 23s.
It's a bit of a chunk, that.
Yeah, just trying to get a bit more elevation. They're using a... Oh, the elevation is there. Yeah, she felt there was too many darts going lower, so
35.
the advice there is either just change the flight slightly and just change the length of the dart with a slightly
100.
long but lighter
Trina Uruguay
stem.
164.
Who's using a very old school nylon stem.
I hate to tell you this, Chris, but if she plays well tonight, you're not
82.
getting those stems
Owen
back.
Uruguay 141.
I'm actually the only person who has those stems because I had the
29.
last
Trina Uruguay
however many
82.
thousand sets that were left.
He did say something rather amusing to me a little bit earlier because she came to the commentary box and asked for a bit of advice from us. We've just had a 10-time world champion ask for our advice. We haven't won any world titles.
35. Owen Uruguay 112.
Great first start from Owen. He wants to leave double 16. He doesn't mind doing a bit of a dance from 7'9¼
80.
He's not dancing because he didn't hit it.
Trina Uruguay
Could
47.
be for a 6-visit break of throw here for Trina. It's been a really solid first leg. Yeah, you're not getting those stems back.
Trina Gulliver.
Nope.
There was something very assured
Second
about
leg Trina
that
to Thoreau
17 darter as well.
Game on.
Well, she uses I think it's a 150 micron flight, which is quite draggy.
60.
And just by making it slightly longer, it will keep the balance of the dart through the air a little bit more cleaner. Which means
134.
it just becomes more aerodynamic. It has to less effort to get it to the board. Hence now she's pitching them over, which is what she found she couldn't do.
45.
Yeah, that's right. She came to us and she said that last night a lot of the first darts were going underneath the treble 20, and she doesn't particularly like to switch a great deal. She likes to
140.
maneuver around a certain shot, but not necessarily from underneath. That wasn't happening a great deal last night. But you can see what happens when she gets it right. Owen will be really pleased that he got his first win of tonight in game one.
26.
That's what he did yesterday against Harry Gregory. And I think he harbours very deep ambitions of topping this group. Because the last time he was
41.
involved in Group B, he didn't qualify. He was fourth.
$135.
Good response. Owen Bates.
I just wonder if we're going to get the same sort of upturn in form from Trina that we got from
55.
Harry Gregory, because
Owen, you
that was
require
astounding.
66.
The upturn in form from him.
Yeah, certainly. We didn't expect it. Double 16.
50. Trina, you require
She has
160.
hit this here before on this stage. Why not again? Well, not to be this time.
100. Owen, you require 16.
At the moment, we're watching her go through a little bit of a
Game Sean the second leg,
calibration
Owen
phase.
Bates.
I think sometimes when you're using a new piece of equipment or a different piece of
Third leg,
equipment, because
Owen
I'm sure
to
she's used this
Throwford.
type of stem
Game
before
on.
at some point. But when you're using it now under this kind of condition, it will take
57.
a few legs just to figure out the intricacies of what's happening. You want to try and stay as natural as possible with your throw. And you want to let a different piece of equipment just sing.
9.
Let it do its work for you. It's a bit like Gordon Ramsay saying, let the knife do the work.
Yep. And by not really tampering too heavily with
100.
that sort of change of barrel, change of grip, change of barrel length, point length, and everything else, you're just making a little small
55.
change.
Well, what I want everybody to do right now who's watching this evening, and thank you for tuning in this evening because we love having your company, but I want you to understand
140.
that some of the greatest players of all time have this ability to play with longevity. Her former county teammate, Steve Beaton, has obviously got that.
58.
And I was talking yesterday about a wonderful England match he had in 1991, which I found on YouTube. That was glorious. However, if I can get you to go to a YouTube channel
125.
after tonight, or indeed whilst you're watching this, I want you to look at Trina's action from 25 years ago, or around about the turn of the century. Nothing's changed. That's why she can still do that.
180. Owen, you require 79.
Flatty,
39.
almost an innie. I wasn't calling him a ninny, by the way. Almost an innie. Just making that clear. It's going to have to be 18s now, isn't it?
Yep.
39. Owen, you require 40.
The fact that Trina was
Game shot in the third leg. Owen
picking our
Bates.
brains tells me that there's still plenty of ambition left. And I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
Fourth leg, Trina to
Can't
Throwford.
argue with that CV.
Game on.
And it's not as if titles have been won 5, 6, 7 years ago. No, she won a PDC title
140.
when the likes of Suzuki and Ashton and Sherrick and Headman were all there, and you think, oh, hang on a minute, it's still
DeGraaf.
there.
Yeah. Still a
140.
big field. Averaging over 80 at the moment as we are in leg 4.
That's a good 10 points better than last night.
60.
Owen is the only person here this
96.
week who has successfully gone to the end of the rainbow in Portsmouth. And that comes with its own expectation.
140.
Trina's probably wondering where these stems were yesterday.
In my bag, here.
That make it feel even worse.
135.
They were only about
Trina
4 paces away.
161.
Another great first start.
Yes. Could go 48 for 36.
97.
Felt like she could
When you require 130.
squeeze one in. Down to 64 after 12. Oh, yeah, that's super awkward. Oh, my goodness. What a dart that is to dink over the top.
Didn't even hit the previous one.
92.
That second dart, you
Trina,
almost
you
feel like he
require
deserves it at the ball.
64.
Yeah, that was a superb shot. Mind you, that is a good one too. 2 8s for 2-2 to cause Owen problems. Oh,
No score.
the line was so good it just
Owen, you
died
require
in the air.
38.
Well, that's fairly awkward, but we know it can lift one over the top.
No
He
score.
may have had to have gone all the way to the other
Trina, you
side.
require 64.
Probably better off throwing flatties at double 19. Take 2.
56.
2
Owen, you
opportunities.
require
Yeah, for
38.
2 apiece.
He's going to persevere with it. I thought he was going to split this time.
22.
Well, there you go. They've both had
Trina, you require
their opportunities
8.
to take like 4. Trina gets 3rd down. Oh, no.
Score.
Unlucky for some. Number 13.
Owen, you require
Seen
16.
it today. I made the point. What can go wrong is going wrong. Should be 3-1.
Game
And
shot of
is.
fourth leg, Owen Bates.
What that was as well.
That's the thing about these young players who practice so much. They
Fifth leg,
they
Owen
don't
to
mind seeing an
Throwfirst.
awkward
Game on.
situation because they know they can find a gap, but you can understand why Trina is so annoyed at
92.
losing leg 4. That was pretty much her leg to own.
Yeah. I think with some of these young players, it almost stimulates their mind having an opportunity to take on
46.
shots like that.
I know we talk about this current generation Z, I think it is, and how a lot of this
59.
generation have short attention spans and maybe they don't have the same level of patience as previous generations, but there are exceptions to that. You meet people like Cam Crabtree, and you meet
125.
an Owen Bates, and some of the other young players around.
Even a Luke Littler.
Absolutely. They have
100.
remarkable patience.
Yeah, and maturity.
I can't even finish from this position.
98.
That's why that switch was probably very intelligent. Now, 232, you're still 2 singles and a 25 away from a finish.
100.
And leaving a finish here is very important. It's not going to be a problem.
190.
Never. We looked at each other after dart 180.
She's got 2 180s. Owen's got none.
Trina, you require 52.
Double 16.
Game shot of fifth
Superb.
leg, Trina
14
Gulliver.
darter. Now imagine if she had cleaned up leg 4, she would be a definitive favourite to take
Six
this
leg
game.
Trina to Throwfirst.
Should be throwing for it.
The
Game
level
on.
of performance in this game compared to yesterday, it's night and day. I can actually... Oh,
20.
that's so unlucky. I'm not even sure what happened there.
I think dart 3 pulled out dart 2 with it.
57.
There's a new rule coming into the game in the next few months. I believe it's on January 4th, where points at the end of steel
78.
tip darts will be regulated. Trina hasn't got a problem with that. Hers are perfectly smooth. And by the looks of it, Owen's are exactly the same.
Yep.
58.
But there are players, and indeed, one of our crew members this week showed us some points that looked like they had corkscrews at the end. And I said, well, it's pointless using those. They're going to be
100.
outlawed in 4 months.
Yep. The players have had, I think, in excess of a year to get accustomed to
60.
smooth points.
I don't think Trina's used anything but smooth points in her entire career.
95.
Did have a brief dabble with points with some grip on them, but didn't last long. Didn't like them.
98.
Yeah, the last points that I used, they had quite a lot of grip on them towards the join of the barrel and the point. They would have been legal.
Yes, because it's
123.
within so many mil of the actual end of the point. It's got to be clean, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's 15 millimeters. Interesting for the people who use small points.
58. Trina, you require 85.
This is for 3-3. It could have been for the match. Now, what to do?
Bates has already had a 170, hasn't he?
She's got
Done the right thing.
2 15s there, so a third
45.
will leave a shot.
On you require 170.
But he got one of these, like you said yesterday.
Hello. Ooh. Would he hit the ball?
105.
Although he may have given it a little
Trina,
bit
you
more
require
attention.
40.
Double top. For the Golden Girl, it is double 10 to draw level.
35. Owen, you require
Chance for Bates.
65.
He can use treble 11 if he wishes, but 25 might come calling, or indeed treble 19. Double 16.
33.
Amazed he loves 32. So I
Trina, you
can't believe he
require
doesn't go
5.
33 for 32.
This has got to go in.
1.
Can't get much closer.
Now, add
When you require
opportunities. 13
32.
darts at a double in the match.
Game.
But
shot,
Owen Bates
and a
does
match.
win.
Owen
He
Bates.
takes the last leg. And it is 4-2 to the man from the southwest of England. That is effectively an elimination of Trina Gulliver. But wasn't it great to see her play so well at points during that match? She tested Owen Bates definitively. But he now goes to 10 points in the table. And his participation in Saturday is looking very, very good, isn't it? It's probably just a question of whether he wins the group now. But when we come back, we'll see Rhys Griffin take on Benjamin. And Benjamin needs to recover.
Well, Owen Bates has put himself in a great position now in terms of qualification through to finals night. He's pretty much there, almost there. 2 victories means that he's on 10 points, but a defeat there for Trinity Gulliver before the break means that she is still stuck on 0 points in the group. Now, Owen Bates on 10. That doesn't usually, it's a mathematical guarantee, but because Trina's at the bottom, they're still relying on other factors. But that factor could be over, because if Rhys Griffin here gets the better of Benjamin Drew Roos, then Owen would be through to tomorrow night's final. Rhys's hand would be further strengthened as well. And as for the Dane Benjamin, things will become very difficult from there. Right, let's get into the action. The permutations sorted. Here's Chris Mason and Paul Nicholson.
Yeah, thanks, Henry, because things are looking very different here on Friday night to what we've seen on Thursday, which means we look at certain fixtures with very different eyes. This one here...
First leg, Benjamin to throw first. Game on.
We look at this 5th meeting of the week between these two, and yes, we can talk about what's happened before, but it's fair to say that Benjamin has been
97.
right royally done by Harry Gregory over the last couple of games. He's taken 4 points off the Dane, and because of that performance
81.
in the second match, there is a possibility here in the next 2 matches that we play in this schedule. If Benjamin loses to Rhys, and then Harry beats
60.
Trina, then we've got a 4-point gap between the 3rd and 4th place.
Yep. And the one we expected to qualify from this group,
100.
alongside Rhys and Owen, is in big danger. This is a must-win game for him now.
I have to say so. On the bright side, if we do look at what's happened
100.
prior to Friday night, Benjamin has beaten Rhys 3 times from 4 this week. Couple of times as well over the last 2 days. They've been comfortable 4-0 and 4-1.
Yeah, last night especially comfortable with one of Ben's best performances, wasn't it? He won 4-1. I mean, Rhys played well, averaged 93.
60.
97 the average for Ben. Couple of 180s and 4 out of 9 on the doubles.
$58.
One of the things about that, because Rhys has proven, because of his interviews with Henry this week, that he's very aware of everything that's happening. He will know that he's lost 3 matches.
100. Reach your car 100.
The only way he's going to square the ledger is if they both qualify for Saturday.
Yes.
So you might have to be okay with losing to the Dane
Rhys Griffin.
on 3 occasions, as long as he wins this game. And that 122 start on the bullseye is a perfect beginning for him.
Second leg, Rhys to throw first.
Yeah, especially against
Game
the
on.
throw pull. That would have been double dusting.
When you consider that the best ton plus finisher of this week is Anton Östlund, and it's fair
97.
to say that Rhys hasn't had a great deal of ton plus finishes considering how many games he's played. But as the week goes on, he's getting better in that regard.
140.
Yeah, for sure.
When someone
60.
is playing in Portsmouth for the first time, doing their first full weekly campaign, you give everybody a little bit of rope and you say, okay, let's see what you can do over 5 or 6 days.
100.
We're not going to try and compare you to what you've done previously in other promotions or indeed other arenas. But what we'll do is we'll solely focus on what you've
44.
done in the time frame that you've been here since 9:30 on Monday morning. And that's what we've been doing with these two. We can talk about World Cups that Benjamin's played in recently. We've
140.
maybe talked about Rhys's journey in previous times, but what's more relevant is what they're doing this week. And we have got a great sample size now.
100.
Yeah,
Benjamin
we've had
Robar,
a long look at
121.
them. Plenty to analyse. Plenty to analyse for the players, of course. He's 41. He's 32 after 12. Equally, there's a strong leg to break back.
100. Benjamin, you require 32.
He's had a few trials in this corner of the
Game
board over
shot
the
the
last
second
few
leg,
days, but
Benjamin Drurus.
no bother here. 2 people on doubles yesterday really
Third leg,
struggled.
Benjamin to throw
Both Gulliver
first.
and
Game
Gregory
on.
were under 20% for the night. We've seen marked improvement in certain categories from both of those players already.
78.
As far as Benjamin is concerned, what kind of level are we going to need from him tonight to get into the top 3? It might have to be his best daily stats to get there,
140.
judging by what Reese is doing, what Owen is doing, and what we've seen already from Harry.
100.
I'm pretty sure that Benjamin was not thinking that he was going to cruise into Saturday. That is not going to happen.
Yeah, but he will have been fully aware that
93.
what level, even though he did lose to Harry last night, he'd be fully aware it was well below his par level. And I'm pretty sure he didn't expect to
55.
walk into the performance level of Harry Gregory tonight.
98.
I wasn't really sure what we were going to get from Harry, actually, and I was pleasantly surprised. He might have caught Benjamin slightly unawares,
58. Reservoir 170.
but now he's playing very familiar fours. He knows exactly what's coming.
87.
He's got the darts in this match as Benjamin,
60.
but he's lost the advantage here in leg
83.
3. Double 9.
65.
That wire moved.
Benjamin, you require 150.
Certainly gave it a nudge. Will he give double 18 a nudge? No. Needed the other treble.
He's had a couple of rippers this
90.
week, a 151 and a 153. That was arguably easier than those 2 finishes I've just mentioned.
No score.
Well, that's one way to
Benjamin,
bust
you
your
require
score,
60.
but he will be firing inside. That's splitting that double 9 with dart 2. Is he made to feel worse by this third dart?
Game shot on the
You
third
bet he
leg.
is.
Benjamin Drurus.
That will really sting.
Yeah, first hole to throw as well in the match.
Fourth leg, Reese to throw first. Game on.
I wonder what the conversations are like in the Ashton household sometimes. Do you think they talk about stuff that isn't dart related? Because they're all good players.
Yes.
43.
Yes, that's right.
Does Derek play as well? Lisa's husband, Derek?
I certainly think he used to.
Well, if he doesn't, he's the only one who doesn't.
180.
This group is like throwing dice in the air and seeing what
Yeah.
falls. I
It
honestly thought this was
42.
going to be quite an easy group to predict tonight. Oh, how wrong we could be.
That's 5.
190.
Turn a 6, upside down. What do you get?
9. Yes, please.
58. Benjamin, you require
Come
141.
on, Benjamin. Chris has asked very nicely. Very nicely indeed. Double 12.
129.
So close.
Couldn't have asked any nicer. Lovely little reaction from Reese, acknowledging the effort. Wow, I thought that was going in. Thought the stars aligned, Nico.
85.
Yeah, the
Benjamin,
flying
you
star
require
was
12.
just short. Needs to put his stamp on the leg by just winning it. That's
Game
very
shot on the
well
fourth
done,
leg,
because when
Benjamin
you've just missed a
Drurus.
9 darter on dart 9,
Well, the stats suggest that it's a remarkable
Fifth
stat.
leg,
The amount of
Benjamin
legs
to throw first.
that are lost
Game on.
when you've missed a 9. You go on to miss a host of doubles and you the opponent comes down and pinches it.
Yeah, the palpitations of the heart, they have such a huge effect, but obviously this guy's made of ice.
180.
Well, that's 3 consecutive 180s in the scoring phase
58.
of the legs.
Ridiculous. Great scoring. Is he going to put it right this time?
Oh, I can't believe he's missed.
140.
Normal services resumed. What a spell this is.
This is about as red hot as 85% of the
50.
Danish flag.
180, 180. Misses the 9 on the 12, so 129. Takes it out, 180, 140.
60.
I think he may have been a little irritated to lose to Harry.
Yeah, just a little bit. What has happened in the last 20 minutes?
121. Benjamin Roy,
Oh,
121.
Rhys Griffin's in shock. It's going to be a layup.
85.
And he leaves double 18 to throw this group into absolute chaos.
140. Benjamin Roy, 36.
Hit this, and he goes to second position. He
Game
does hit
shot
double
of
9.
the match,
And
Benjamin
maybe
Roy.
the miss at double 9 earlier in the match for Rhys, it cost him a lot. But look at the difference in the legs. That's now a 6-leg swing. We will look at the table in detail when we come back after the break. But just take a look at that from Benjamin. That hot spell towards the end, it was remarkable. And he just missed double 12 for the magical 9. Rhys Griffin will have to recover when we come back after the halfway break. One more game before we go to the half time, and that is Trina Gulliver against Harry Gregory.
Welcome back, everyone. And to quote the great broadcaster Barry Davis, interesting? Very interesting is this Group B now, because this is how the table lies. Because before the break, Benjamin Drew Roos got the better of Reece Griffin by 4 legs to 1. Really impressive performance, 94.3 to the average. And it means, as far as the table is concerned, Owen Bates is on 10 points. Drew Roos, Griffin and Gregory are now all on 6. Next up for us, Gregory is in action against Trina Gulliver. Now, a win for Trina would actually send Owen Bates into the final tomorrow night. If Harry Gregory can pick up the spoils in this one, then he would leapfrog the Dane and the Welshman into second spot in the table. Right, let's get into the action here and join our commentary team of Paul Nicholson and Chris Mason.
Yeah, let's do it, Henry, because tonight this has been basically unpredictable. Now, darts, most of the time, is very unpredictable. We thought, myself and Chris, that tonight might be done and dusted quite quickly because of what we saw last night, but everything's been flipped on its head. We've seen improvement
Trina to
from almost
Thoroughfares.
everybody.
Game on.
And because of that improvement from most parties, the person who has suffered the most is the person who was top of the table overnight.
83.
Yeah, how bizarre this is played out.
It's probably because I said earlier that there's one person that could use
95.
a bit of a coast into Saturday night. It'd be Reece Griffin. It's not going to be a coast now because he's got Gulliver to play in game number 7.
60.
And Harry Gregory in game 10. It might come down to the last game again for him.
Yep, I was just scanning over the... Well, he'll be
100.
a big Trina Gulliver fan right now, won't he, Reece?
Him and about another few million.
Yeah, I'm Benjamin.
Yeah, they want the 10-time Ladies World Champion to do
66.
a favour here. She had a good upturn in form in her first game. They want that to continue, if not improve, because
83.
that difference-making first performance from Harry has got everybody running scared a little bit.
Yeah, it was absolutely stunning, wasn't it? Made a couple of adjustments.
100.
He's not so far right on the hockey. Came in probably a good 7 or 8 inches. He was right on the edge, wasn't he?
59.
Yeah, he averaged 93.24 against Benjamin, who was very good at 3-1-8s. Benjamin,
100.
average of 90.54.
Harry required
Wasn't enough. Went
164.
down 4-2. But he certainly put that right last time out, did Benjamin?
41.
A 4-1 win
Trina
over Reece.
required
Just
92.
was some purple patch. A 92 for Trina. Old school.
What a lie that is. Don't even bother going for the treble. Don't listen to me. Listen to Trina.
76.
This one went close, didn't
Harry
it?
require
Harry
123.
just edging out Trina last night, 4-3.
$103. Trina
Safe.
requires 16.
Very safe. Rather be safe than bust. 2 8s for the Golden Girl.
Game
Well, that's
shot
a
of the
great
first
shot.
leg. Trina
Third dart
Gulliver.
into the double 4. And that makes not just her very happy. The one person in the table right
Second leg
now
Harry
who
to
is
throw first.
kicking
Game
up
on.
the ankles and just thinking, you know, I'm feeling pretty comfortable right now is Owen Bates. 10 points and 4 points ahead
135.
of the chasing pack.
In fairness, Trina should have beat Owen.
I agree. There were vital doubles missed in that previous performance. And had Trina done that,
100.
there'd be even more chaos on the table.
Yeah, there'll be even more drama.
58.
I
100.
bet you're glad you didn't give these stems to Trina when you played her.
Yeah. I I literally was exactly thinking that at that time. I was thinking, oh my,
79.
where are all them stems? I know the text message is coming now.
Never help a potential rival. Rule number 1. I remember when James Wade said to me, you know these white stems I'm
100.
using, I don't like them. I said, oh, I've got these ones. Try them. Yeah, he won that day. Well done, me.
140.
I just wonder how Harry's going to handle the pressure now that we do expect from him
85.
a certain level
Harry
of
require
performance
89.
here tonight. And now that he's in the mix and part of the party,
42.
can he complete the job?
Training require 116.
Somebody is going to leave this arena tonight livid.
Yeah, going to be smarting. Treble 19.
38. Harry require 47.
Numbers like this prove what you like, whether it's tops or double 16.
27.
Chance for Gulliver to double the
Training
lead.
require 78.
Yep, treble 18 for double 12. You're going to be on at tops.
58.
Not quite there. And Harry comes back for
Harry
tens.
require 20.
Double 5.
Game shot on the
A
second line.
really good
Harry
save
Gregory.
from the young man, because yesterday his doubles percentage being under 20%, the same as Trina.
Third leg Trina to throw first.
A lot
Game
of that
on.
was to do with the fact that in certain legs they just couldn't find the mark, and it went on for multiple visits, and their percentage just kept
60.
going down and down and down. Doesn't seem to be as much of a problem here tonight.
Yeah, missing doubles just became infectious.
140.
You look at someone like Harry, and you have to put your hands together and applaud the new academy systems with the Junior Darts Corporation, because they do such a fabulous job
140.
giving young boys and girls a safe and professional place to play with good tutelage and good
85.
advice. That's the future of this game. That's where the next superstars are going to come from.
Oh, there already is a superstar from that
37.
very system. Luke Littler.
Even if you go back a few years, you look at former JDC European champion Bradley Brooks and look at where he is now. Someone
92.
like Jared Cole. You've
Another
seen
one.
plenty of him here. That system is...
Sure,
It's-
Bo Greaves played within the JDC system, didn't she?
Probably did at the age of 12,
40.
13, 14, 15. But there are so many good
98.
talents nationwide, and that system will allow the elite young players to blossom.
another.
Getting plenty of 180s tonight,
Harry
isn't she?
require 86.
That's a third, isn't it?
Yep.
Bullseye.
61. Trina require
She needs to
44.
convert these opportunities. She's creating plenty this evening. Just converting them.
Double 10. The 2-1.
24. Harry
When
require
you are trying to make
25.
adjustments to your treble 20 shooting, it's very different trying to change your double top shooting as well. It's a very different shot. I like that step away. That's a old head on young shoulders.
19.
He does pass the buck back to
Trina
Trina.
require 20.
Probably has to go high on this one. Now a lot higher.
10. Harry requires 6.
This is nerve shredding here tonight. I would not want to be Reese or Benjamin in the practice room right now. Double one with something in the way.
No score.
This game is
Trainer, you
following a very
require
similar
10.
pattern to what we saw on Thursday.
Yep, hosts of missed starts at doubles, and it continues.
Game
Gets there in the end for a 2-1 lead.
If she hadn't hit that double five, she would have been very displeased because that was a perfect marker.
Fourth leg, Harry to throw first. Game on.
Has Trina ever written a book?
92.
Would have thought so.
Oh, I'd read it. Cover to cover.
Yeah, I'm sure she has. She's sure it's called The Golden Girl.
40. 56.
I should have asked her when she was getting your stems earlier.
Yeah, it is called The Golden Girl, the autobiography of the greatest ever by Trina Gulliver.
Well, that's going into my little shopping list later. I do like reading a darts
59.
biography. Andy Ford and Phil Taylor, Eric Bristow. Haven't read Barney's.
59.
Not yet. I haven't actually read Jamie Caven's. I've been meaning to read that for years.
I've read that one. Actually, it's another fascinating book. It's a slightly different
100.
insight into the trials and tribulations he went through.
Yeah, Jamie Caven's is all about how he doesn't have 100% vision, of course, and his dominant eye is the
140.
affected eye. Didn't stop him from winning multiple PDC titles, though.
Oh, beating me a few times.
You and me both.
That's why I used to call him
60.
Cyclops.
Harry require 154.
Which he doesn't mind.
He's got a good sense of humour, as Jamie.
Game
I wonder if
shuttle
Trina has, because
flag,
that's a
Harry
huge
Gregory.
finish from Harry Gregory.
And he's showing us the full repertoire this evening.
Fifth leg, Trina to throw
Last night
first.
was a
Game on.
real tough night for both of these. Showing the other strings to their bows this evening.
Any idea why he's called
60.
the Hawk?
Harry the Hawk.
Maybe.
100.
Tell you what, he's got eyes of the Hawk, because that was a special finish. We've seen a lot of biggies this week. We've got the
Yeah.
170. We've got a couple of 160 plus shots.
153s, 151s.
You've got a big finish bingo card going this week. You are looking at a lot of yellow pen.
Yeah, get your dabbers out.
40.
I think there was a risk based on the way that Harry played his first game tonight that he could really set this game on fire.
60.
At 2-2, this has got everybody biting their fingernails as to what's going to happen in the second half of play. If Trina can
100.
win, she gets her first win of the group. And that keeps Benjamin, Reese, and Harry all on 6 points.
140.
If Harry does lose this match, his leg difference will go backwards. At worst, to -3, meaning there is an 8-leg gap between
131.
Benjamin and that of Harry, which could be 4th position. That's what makes this game so important, because his run-in, he has Owen Bates in game 8. We know how hard that is tonight because he's leading the table. He's got Reese
55.
Griffin in game
Harry
10.
require 130.
Why do I think it's going to come down to that? Treble 18 or the bull
65.
halves the score. So Gulliver,
Trainer
another
require
chance at 160.
160.
2 treble 20s. Tops. Ooh, just lost the line.
40.
Oh, massive break of
Harry
throw
requires
opportunity
65.
incoming.
Lovely 25.
45.
Doesn't have the double.
Trina, you require
To match it.
120.
Has to be a little bit higher. Just a bit too high. Where her darts sit in the board.
100.
That was actually a really good lie because she
Area
can bend it
required
around
20.
very naturally. She actually got it with dart 3. Is it too late?
It's not a bad guide.
10.
Oh, you could hear the clip.
Trina, you require 20.
30 darts at a double thrown in this match. Plenty of chances. And double 5 is
15.
getting a lot of attention.
Harry, you require 10.
Double 1.
No score. Trina, you require 5.
Trina seems to be winning these sorts of legs in this match. Is she winning this one?
Gonna have to find a special kind of dart, and she
On the fifth
does.
leg, Trina
That
Gulliver.
was a beauty, and leads somehow 3-2.
It's quite a bit of difference in
Six
the
leg
averages
Harry
as well.
to throw first. Game
It's a
on.
good 8 to 9 points.
Well, Harry has 10 scores of a ton or more. So does Trina.
140.
But 3 of those are. Sorry, yeah, well, 3 of them are 2 140s and a 180. Harry has 5 140s.
85.
But they've had similar amounts of darts at a double. 19 for Harry, 18 for Trina.
57.
The tighter this game is, the better it is for the other people. However, the most important thing
97.
is getting the 2 points. Get the 2 points, get to second position.
93.
That's the simple mission here for Harry. With 2 games to go for every player. If you get chances from here on out, you must take them. You cannot give
85.
Trina what she's had over the last few legs.
No, especially when she's on the hill. One mistake here
57.
cost Harry a place in tomorrow night's final.
This is a number, Mace, where a lot of the young players would go 20, 19, 25 at worst
44.
to leave the 170.
Harry, you require 154.
With all due respect to Trina, she's maybe not of the same sort of thinking. She tends to count more like Steve Beaton, a bit more old school.
Yep,
80.
and we are very set in our ways. Even now, it doesn't feel right going for 19s on 303, even though I know it's the right way.
This is the right way. Harry, don't look.
130. Harry, you require 74.
Possibly just the one chance to save the match.
54. Trina, you require
This could be
60.
a very large gift to the 3 in the top 3.
$40.
Can't close it out. They've both had 20 darts at a
Harry, you
double.
require 20.
Do we go to leg 7? Double 5
15.
gets a bit more attention.
And he couldn't have been any
Trina,
closer
you
with the second
require
heart double
20.
10.
Double 10. Another double 5 shot.
No score.
She is so annoyed.
Harry, you require 5.
When you're in a game like this, these checkouts are so difficult. But he has found the mark. We just don't know how valuable that will be. One leg shootout. And the likes of Benjamin
Seventh
Drew
and final
Roos
leg, Trina to
and
throw
Rhys
first.
Griffin in the practice
Game on.
room. They've run out of fingernails. I just wonder how Trina's going to react to missing match darts.
123.
There's your answer. Here's a bit of a question just to
95.
wet your whistle, miss. If you were going to name a 4-person ladies England team of all time, who would be your 4?
40.
Whoa. I am loving that. I am putting pen to paper.
Do you want to come back with your answer in game 7?
Yeah. And listen,
29.
if you are on social media and you want to get involved, at MSS Darts on Twitter/X, and give me your 4. I'll make mine. I'll put mine down. You make a little note while I'm upstairs with
59.
Henry.
Yeah, I'm gonna really think about that. You might think it's an easy thing to do, it's really not.
45.
English women, yeah.
English, yes. Not British, just English. Great second dart. That is a tremendous 140. Only her third of the contest, but it gets her miles in front.
Picking 4 is so... You've done that on purpose, haven't you?
Of course I have.
140.
Yeah, play to Harry for the
Trini require 139.
response there, but it doesn't get him to a finish.
Oh, 2 visits for Trina. May only need the 1. Bolt. Double 16 for a Brahmer.
107.
That would have been something.
Well, after trials and tribulations on a double to then take out a shot like that, which is
56.
such a beautiful finish.
Trini
Don't
require
become a 10-time world
32.
champion without being able to close things out. And
Hey,
that one has
shot
been closed
and the
out.
match, Trina
Her first 2
Gulliver.
points of the campaign for Trina. She's not going to leave Group B without a win. She might even get more because at times in that contest she was playing beautifully. But that is a hammer blow to Harry Gregory, who now sits in 4th position again with 6 points and a leg difference of -2. Plenty to mull when we come back after the break. We will speak to Chris and to Henry before we go into the final 2 games in this group.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where we are 2 rounds of fixtures for every single player down now in the evening session. Mace the Ace, Chris Mason, has joined me up here on the balcony. Look back on it. These are results then from the first 5 games. And before the break, we saw Trina Gulliver get the better of Harry Gregory by 4 legs to 3. And that result actually now sends Owen Bates through to the finals. And it was great to see Trina get off the mark. And just on her way off, I was heading up here on the balcony. It was a nice little smile, nice little relief for her.
Yeah, she needed that. She played some good stuff earlier on in her match, and she could well have beaten Owen. It was only a couple of missed doubles here and there, and it could have been a different type of result. But yeah, it's important. It was a bit like this afternoon, of course. Just you don't want to see a player not pick up a win. Leighton picked up a win at the last opportunity, and Trina's got a win tonight. But it's going to go down to the wire. We know Owen's through now, but the positions 2 and 3 are up in the air.
Yeah, that result sending Owen Bates through, and considering the way he's been playing the last couple of days, it kind of 2 different performances tonight, but overall deserved finalist.
Yeah, I think he's very much like a Conor Heenahan. I think we'll see the best of Conor when it really matters tomorrow night, and Owen's very much another reactive type player, although he has those spells of brilliance like we've seen from Benjamin. I mean, that run he had in that match against Reece has really walked into it tonight.
Well, he actually came so close, inches away for a moment of perfection here at the Super Series. It would have been our 3rd 9 darter of the series, and we're not even halfway through it yet.
Yeah, he just was zoned right in, wasn't he? It was 2 beautiful 180s, and well, when he found the treble 19 on the 1-4-1 combination, I was certain it was going to go in, and it only narrowly missed. And he started the next leg with another 180 and backed that up with a 140. And as you can see, just a matter of millimetres away.
Well, the good news is Conor Heenan's here tomorrow night for the 9
so we'll get
darter.
another one.
Exactly. So we'll get there in the end. Right, let's have a look at the table then at the halfway point of tonight. Bates leading the way on 10 points. And now, well, Juru's on 6, Griffin on 6, Gregory on 6, and Gulliver off the mark.
Yeah, it's a massive game for Benjamin, but it may be the right time to play Owen. He may just sort of think, right, job done, and be focusing on tomorrow night.
Well, we're going to be seeing the pair in action now. For any further ado, we'll let Mace get his skates on down to the commentary. Got the trainers on?
I have.
Well, he's going to make his way down to join Paul Nicholson.
Yeah, apparently Mace has got skates and trainers on. I applaud him. Well, when he comes down, we'll get his view on what's happening in the table and how this game progresses. But we do currently have on the hockey right now 2 people in a qualifying position, and as far as Owen is concerned, a qualified position, because he's got 10 points with 2 games to go. He was the favourite to win the group for good reason. He's going to be part of Saturday night with Ryan Harrington, with Conor Heenahan and Anton Östland.
First leg, Owen to throw first. Game on.
Danny McNamara is your referee for the second half of play as well as the first. And it will be fascinating to see what we get from
80.
Benjamin this time, because when we have seen some good stuff from him previously in the week, it's been quite tough for him to maintain that in the next game after that.
135.
And then maybe the game after that as well. Consistency hasn't really been key, but it might be needed in at least one
60.
of the 2 remaining games that he has.
Yeah, we may see this, Nico, come down to leg difference. We've been due one. We've been due to get the
96.
old abacus out.
Still got your skates on?
I have.
And your trainers?
Yep. 1 on each foot.
190.
And I got them on the trainers, the wheelie. Remember
Oh,
the
the
wheelie?
Heelys.
Heelys, that's it.
I can see you in a set of Heelys going down London Road.
Yeah, I can see me with a
60.
broken back as well.
It's just like Smithy's sister and Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah.
135.
Good start here from Owen. You give Owen Bates the chance to relax a little more, and then he can do anything.
100. Owen, you require 46.
Yeah, it's one of those with Owen. He can either really sort of start to turn it on.
Game shot of the first leg.
When he
Owen
starts
Bates.
like this, the chances are now he'll start to just express himself a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit. He's got a lot in his
Second leg,
arsenal,
Benjamin
and we
to
know
throw
that his
first. Game on.
ceiling of performance is about as high as the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, skyscraper high. Although, seen in spells, this guy
180.
not too far behind him.
He doesn't mind starting a leg with a
140.
180 tonight. And
Twice.
backing it up with something else.
Well, it was that week that
100.
Steve Westad is. He missed one, didn't he? With a similar distance away. Don't worry, I'll get one. He was good to his word.
100.
He's been a man of few words this week, Benjamin. Indeed, the practice room in the first 3 days was very quiet.
60.
It's been fairly quiet, in fact, over the last couple of days as well.
85. Benjamin, you require
I get the feeling the
161.
volume might go up over the next 24 hours or so. We approach the midnight hour here on Friday. We are about 23
60.
hours away from crowning our Week 5 champion.
Don't forget, get involved with
136. Benjamin, you
team
require
of
101.
4 women to represent England. Who would your 4 be?
Game shot in the second leg.
At
Benjamin
MSS
Bruce.
Darts? I don't know, Paul. Answers on a postcard. Yeah, or Twitter or X, whatever they call it.
Third leg Owen
At
to
MSS
Roper.
Darts.
Did you see what Owen Bates just did? He went, wow. He hasn't seen that before. I haven't seen that before.
140.
What was that about?
Was he going for treble 3?
I don't know what he was doing.
140.
Gonna have to watch that back.
I'm supposed to sit in this chair,
134.
analyse, and tell you why. I honestly haven't got a clue why.
80.
3 double 19.
Well, he does love double 12. We know that, even though he missed it for the 9. Maybe it was a badly thrown dart
60.
at 17.
That was a terrible dart then. That was a terrible dart.
Owen's reaction was just class. Clip that up.
60.
Wow.
Owen, you require 167.
He might go a bit touche on his opponent here and try and do something a bit different.
127.
So he's obviously going to go 2 double 10s next.
Again, next level counting from Owen.
54. Owen, you require 40.
Double top.
Game
No
shot in the third
problem.
leg. Owen Bates.
This is a great game to watch. And it could well be one of those games
like
that you
Benjamin
see
do
every
throw
now and
first.
again
Game
that
on.
is a real education. What happened next? If you knew that he was going to go 3 double
45.
19, then you know more about Benjamin than I do. He might be the new Eric Claris.
100.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've only just recovered from the first one.
At the moment, Owen Bates, 111.64. Goodness.
Well, when we were getting that 101 checkout, Chris was
54.
kindly saying on our social media, we want you to get in touch with us and let us know your 4-lady England team of all time. I've started jotting names down and
140.
I'm starting to regret asking this question.
Good. We'll do it in the next match when Trina plays.
Yes, we will.
140.
That substitutes bench is going to be really warm. Really warm.
Oh, no, no subs. Straight in, 4.
36.
No non-playing captains. Don't start.
Oh,
don't start.
come on.
No, Nico. Not having it.
It's in the ether now. I've got to follow through, haven't I?
32.
I might do an article about it.
Yeah.
Top- For the 4-man team, the 4-woman team, and
58.
do all of the
Of all time.
do the 6 nations and see what people think of it. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm all over that.
30. Owen, you require 167.
Going to go the same route as the last time. Different result. I think he
129.
wanted to hit that, because of what happened earlier.
$100.
Watch him go.
Oh, and you require 38.
Double 3, double 16.
It's double 19, of course.
Game
That's
shot
a
of the fourth
lovely
leg,
shot.
Owen Bates.
He's in so much control right now, and he's sailing at 105 average.
Yeah,
Fifth leg,
looking
Owen to throw first.
very,
Game
very
on.
comfortable in the process. And again,
140.
this fella is just so talented. As is this young man.
100.
May have given Benjamin the appetite to really go forward in terms of his career
140.
and ambition.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I think Scandinavian countries have always had a really good presence in world darts, and they need people
125.
to bear the flag.
Yeah, well, that even the miss on the 9, that will go bonkers on the socials. won't it?
140.
sure it will. It's not just the male players in Scandinavia as well. Think about Anne-Louise Peters from Denmark. She used to be the record holder of the biggest finish at Lakeside. It's now been beaten by Hungary's Veronika Ihas. That's now 164.
65.
But she held that record for quite a few years. But it seems as if Owen Bates is about to do a favour
16.
for Rhys Griffin and Harry Gregory.
Game shot.
What a
and the match,
performance.
Owen
And that
Bates.
smashes the best of the week by a good 8 points. Maybe even a little bit more than that. When he cruises at a very, very big speed. Because Benjamin only got one shot at a double, even though he averaged next to 90. So Owen Bates laying down the marker and is going to win this group. And he may win it by quite some distance. When we come back, we'll not only see Trina Gulliver against Rhys Griffin, but we will talk about our best lady teams for England of all time.
Well, that was quite the performance, wasn't it, before the break from Owen Bates. 107.17 the average, and 4/6 on the doubling to dismantle Benjamin Drew Roos by 4 legs to 1. Right, next up for us, it is Trina Gulliver in action, looking to pick up back-to-back victories. She takes on Rhys Griffin. Victory here would move him on to 8 points and in a very good position in order to qualify through for tomorrow night's final, with his next game being against Harry Gregory in the last match of the session. Right, let's get into this one with Paul and Chris.
Thank you, Henry. Yeah, I'm just trying to work out the permutations, Paul. I think I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do.
There's so many variables because up next is Harry against Owen.
First leg, Trina
In
to
that form, he's looking
Thoroughfares.
pretty unstoppable.
Game on.
So the 3-on-6 are all in action in the next 4 games, but Rhys, of course, will be
44.
involved in 2 of them,
Indeed.
as will Harry.
That's a good thing for him, because this does feel a little bit like Group A for him.
140.
Yeah.
And that is really going to test the old grey matter between the ears, because it didn't go his way that time. I wonder if he needs to win one
61.
or both.
Just confirmation, of course. We were talking about Lisa Ashton. Derek, of course, was a very good player, but sadly
91.
got the yips, and that was that. Decided to just call it quits.
That's a bit of a shame, isn't it?
60.
Now, Rhys, who has had a very interesting night so far, he was involved in that lovely game with Owen Bates in game 1.
Yeah, that was a beauty.
100.
He's going to need stuff like that.
Well, they've had 2 absolute crackers, haven't they?
Yeah, and I want them to play again at some
Yes.
point. I'm being totally selfish when I say that, but he lost 4-1 to Benjamin, who had a real game out there.
95.
But since then, he's
Racer
lost to
War
Owen Bates
90.
4-1 himself. This is a bit of a merry-go-round here. That's double top left.
That's,
Game shot on the first
sorry,
leg.
man, that's a
Rhys
12
Griffin.
darter, a beauty, and a break of throw. Just when you think the pressure's going to start to get to
Second
them.
leg, Rhys to Thoroughfares. Game
Not
on.
so. Well,
Well-
we've got the time.
Yeah, because this could be over in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, who's your 4 then? We've talked about this
91.
over the last 20, 30 minutes, and some people maybe thinking at home with pads on their laps and pens, thinking, who are the 4 that I would select
100.
for my England ladies team of all time? And there are so many options, and I am going to give honourable mentions to certain people, but we've had about half an hour.
140.
I've picked my 4.
Well, I'm not on X or Twitter, but obviously I am on Facebook. And Michael Machin got in touch with me. He
81.
obviously is like me and doesn't have Twitter or X. Trina, Dieter, Lisa, and Bo. Not too far off of my pick.
Yeah, I've got 3 of them.
My 4:
94.
Trina, Lisa, Fallon, and Bo. What say you, Nico?
Trina, Lisa, Dieter,
140.
Mandy Solomons.
Ooh.
What I've done there is I've gone for people with a lot of caps.
94.
I think what you've done is gone with ceiling of performance, maybe.
Yep. Absolutely.
Now, I want to give an honourable mention because Trina's going to be with us
58.
for game 9 as well.
Racer
And
War 82.
I like these opportunities of giving people a mention, because there are people who have done things in previous generations who get nowhere near the recognition they deserve.
42.
Maureen Flowers.
She's on my
122.
list right here of honourable mentions, and she has to be the first. The next is Linda Duffy, of course.
Yes. For sure.
Former world number 1. Bull Greaves deserves a mention. You've already mentioned her. How about a bullseye for Trina?
97.
Not far off.
Racer require 40.
I'll get back into that debate in a second. Let's focus on Rhys and his chance of 2-0.
Game
That's a
shot on the
beautiful
second
dart.
leg,
It
Reese
really is.
Griffin.
Right in the middle. Under pressure as well. Halfway to the promised land. Now,
Third leg, Trina to
you
throw
mentioned
first.
Maureen Flowers.
Game on.
I'm mentioning Claire Bywaters.
Shout.
Lorraine Winstanley. Fallon Sherrick, of course. But I want to throw a mention out there
60.
to someone who I thought was a real stalwart of the England team. Apple Jones. Played for Surrey.
And London.
Fabulous player.
134.
Fabulous player. Played for England many, many times.
Yeah, played on the same side as Apley.
That was when the England team was
43.
almost bulletproof against good Welsh sides, good Scottish sides. And then all of a sudden, the Dutch side started to compete, didn't they?
140.
Brought in the likes of
Francis.
Francis Hunsela, who was a long-time rival of Trina.
62.
Something weird actually happened last year. I had a good friend of mine
100.
came over from Australia to visit. He'd just been to the World Police Fire Games in the Netherlands, and he got a tap on the shoulder. And he said, "I believe you know a friend of mine." And this lady was
100.
talking to my friend
Raise your
Tony.
bar,
He said, "Oh, who's your friend?" I said,
127.
"Oh, Paul Nicholson. What's your name?" "My name's Francis."
Wow.
It was so strange.
Sue Edwards, another one.
Oh,
Another wonderful dart player. Jane Kempster.
111.
Claire Brucken.
Yeah, there's been so many over the years.
Yeah, and those international squads.
Look, the opportunities were so limited then.
Absolutely.
40.
You know, we were getting our Darts World
Raise
magazine
your
and looking
bar,
at who was getting
16.
capped for England. That was a big deal.
Huge. This is a big average. Reece trying to trump
Game shot on the third
the
leg,
average
Reese
of
Griffin.
Owen Bates. He's averaging 102.5.
Fourth leg, Reese to throw first. Game on.
He's missed 4 darts at a double.
There is a degree of resistance in this performance.
57.
It's almost urgent because it feels from this sort of distance that Reece is looking to win this match to make sure that
85.
he wants to get it done quicker. He doesn't want what happened on Wednesday to happen again.
60.
I'm sure at the age of 26 that Reece has been around a few excellent internationals in his time.
Absolutely. Did we have any
140.
tweets of people's favourite 4?
Not from the account that I'm looking at, so
Oh,
we
26.
can bring that up again because I think that's a fascinating subject. We might even look into some of the other teams and
85.
look at the men at some point, or indeed some of the other countries.
yeah, the England men's side would. Oof,
140.
Eric's top of the list, isn't he?
yeah. And then I instantly think Taylor, Lowe, Martin Adams.
Yeah, Wolfie's my second one. Eric and Wolfie are the same team.
My
43.
words.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Lowe was such a great England captain.
Tony O'Shea.
Yeah.
140. Trini require
I
148.
love talking about this stuff with you. Do you know that? It's just makes me feel like a kid again. Well, Trina
44.
has played some
Fraser
stellar
requires
stuff tonight, but only
78.
getting 1 dart at a double in this contest has been her downfall.
Well, that's been to the level of play. So Reece, from Reece, first time he's dipped below the
Game
ton average,
shot.
and he
And
finishes
a
off
match,
4-0,
Reece
50%
Griffin.
on the doubles, an average of 97 opportunities limited for Trina in that one. She averaged 75, 68 feet, and as you said, Paul, just the 1 dart at a double. When we come back, it's another big game. Harry Gregory faces Owen Bates.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. Before the break, Rhys Griffin got the better of Trina Gulliver by 4 legs to 0. And so that means, as far as things are concerned, Griffin then with the victory, which helps his chances, moves him on to 8 points in the group. Next up is Owen Bates against Harry Gregory. Final run out for Bates in this group before we see him tomorrow night at finals night. Right, let's get into this one then in the midnight furnace heat, keeping their cool in the commentary box. Chris Mason and Paul Nicholson.
Yeah, it's still very cool down here in the air-conditioned commentary box, but things are getting edgy on the stage, especially for this young man, because he has 2 games left. He has to make them count because he's just seen Rhys Griffin go to 2nd position in the table thanks to that 4-0 win over Trina Gulliver. If he can't beat the person who is winning this group, then
First leg, Harry to throw first.
he may need
Game on.
Trina to do him a bit of a favour, and then he's going to have to beat Rhys Griffin. So fixtures he has,
92.
brilliance he must have.
He's got to watch his leg difference. He's currently on -2.
91.
Not only does he have to win, he has to win with a bit of a margin. And good luck with that
59.
right now against Owen Bates, who last time out, a blistering 107 average.
I've got a sneaky feeling he might even better
180.
that in this game, because that 180 looked way too easy.
When he hits him, you can put him
30.
on the head of a pin.
44.
Got a very 80s look about him, hasn't he? The haircut and the white socks under the black trousers. He wouldn't be out of place in
43.
madness.
Some of the darts he's throwing are a bit madness.
136.
Oh, he's left 50.
Oh, no.
What's he going to do?
Oh, no.
Is he going to go Conan Whitehead on us and go for the ball?
100. Oh, and you require 50.
Going to go Taylor Painter against... No, he's not going to do it. Good lad.
18.
I don't mind when it's on a 10, but...
Yeah, I think he did the right thing there.
99.
Double
Oh, and you
16
require
is his double of
32.
choice.
Game
that's
shot on
why.
the first leg. Owen Bates.
The last thing you want to do in this game, apart from lose it, is for your leg
Second
difference
leg Owen
to
to
plummet
throw
even more.
first. Game on.
Because, like Mace mentioned, at -2 before a dart was thrown in this game, if he loses,
55.
he's already a minimum of 5 legs away from Benjamin.
128
128.
was 4-2 in favour of Owen in this tie.
Yeah, it was a steady display
96.
from Owen yesterday. Average of just over 90, which is pretty much what he does on the 2 main tours that he plays, on the Pro Tour as an alternate player
44.
and the Challenge Tour. That's what he will do all of the time, but we know that he has another level.
180.
There's only 2 years between these two, but 2 years is a
85.
long time in
170.
development at this age.
Yeah, especially in experience levels as well. You wanted to do your 350.
58.
He was disappointed not to do it for you, Nico.
Still time yet. You know how many times we've seen that in the last
100.
3.5
Oh, and you
years?
require 112.
Off the top of my head, I think it's twice,
It's
isn't it?
twice, yeah.
Remember who done it?
Jenkins and McEwen.
72. Harry, you require
Yeah,
144.
Jenkins did it against Sherrick. And
Yes.
I forget who McEwen did it against, but that was the last time we saw it.
46.
Once in
Oh, and you
Southampton,
require
once here.
40.
What a marker.
20.
He's clipping the wire all over the place there.
Harry,
That's a
you're
real
playing
invite
He's
there.
playing a tune on the wires.
Double 19. Got to give it a go.
60.
That really was close.
Oh, and you
Say, what is
require
it
20.
about Owen Bates and his opponents in double 19?
I don't know. Still trying to get over that 101 checkout. It was the only dart that Benjamin got in the match.
On the second
Had a
leg,
double.
Owen Bates.
Owen's getting plenty. He's had 11 in 2 legs.
Third leg, Harry to throw first. Game on.
It's getting to the stage where the leg difference is
60.
a huge concern, because if this keeps going the way it is, it might just need to be a win for Benjamin in the next match to eliminate Harry.
57.
Because the swing in leg difference is going to be too big.
100.
No matter what result he got against Reese, be enough.
180.
casual max.
That's 3 now. He's making this 86 average look terrible.
91.
I mean that in the nicest possible way, because if he'd hit his doubles a little quicker, it'd probably be about 15 more than that.
94.
Yeah, but he's missed 9.
He's determined to get a 170 tonight.
56. So when you require 170.
This 170 number 2. No.
61.
Got to somehow apply some pressure. That's one thing I have really been
57.
impressed with
When
when
you
it comes to
require
Harry.
109.
He hasn't given his hand away at all. He's played the game and he's kept everything to himself. He's not shown
57.
weakness.
Harry require 137.
He does get on with it, doesn't he?
97.
What would
Owen,
be
you require
an interesting
52.
one, Nico? The men's Welsh team. Top
Game
4.
on the third leg, Owen Bates.
I've got a sore head already. I've got a sore head.
Fourth leg,
Just
Owen
beginning
to
to think
throw
of,
first. Game on.
You got Richie Burnett and Casey Price, Alan Evans, Leighton, Kerry Morgan.
Getterman's never even played for Wales
91.
in the WDF.
Well, maybe at rugby or something.
Well, I think playing captain Leighton Rees.
45.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Burnett. Phillips.
107.
No, Alan Evans.
I need some time to think about this. This is
92.
a terrible question to answer on the fly.
I think we need to do a definitive category
47.
of 4-man teams from 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah, I think that's a lot fairer.
100.
I haven't even mentioned Mark Webster. He's
Yeah.
a great, great combatant for Wales, winning the World Cup singles.
Richie Davis.
134.
Peter Johns. Kerry Morgan.
You are killing me.
56.
This game may be killed
Owen, you
off.
require 122.
He's just been too good, too relaxed, too assured.
Marshall James.
90.
You're not making it any easier, miss. Jonathan Clayton.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Clayton.
104.
And he has played for Wales.
Yes,
32.
yes.
Double 16.
Game.
Bates
shot,
is
and a
just...
man.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. We're joined up here on the balcony by Owen Bates. Owen, many congratulations through to Saturday night. Just assess the last 2 days from your perspective.
Yeah, obviously I'm really happy to be through, top of the group. That's really good. I'm really happy with it. But do you know, I really don't think I've played what I can play. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and hopefully I can show what I can do, really, because, yeah, I really don't think I've played how I could. But obviously I'm really happy to win the group.
Obviously, we saw performances like the 107 average a little bit earlier on the series, and we saw in a game later on last night. Do you feel like it's there in patches, but you just can't quite put what you want to put together? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, the heat on the stage is unbelievable. So it's challenging to focus sometimes, but I know that tomorrow it'll all come together and hopefully come good.
As you say, going into tomorrow night, you know what it's like to be victorious on a Saturday. You know what it's like to perform in front of crowds here. Now you've experienced both sides of the coin. Where do you think do you get the better out of? Behind closed doors environment, or in front of that stage, in front of that crowd?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing in front of the crowd. I think it gives me that extra 10%. I'm really focused, and when you've got a group full of such good players and you take the eye off the ball, then it's you really can be punished. And I'm really happy just to get through the group and get on to tomorrow night.
You've been judging yourself by very high standards, but I suppose they've been standards that you've set over the last 6 months. Where's the big development, do you think, been over the last 6 months or so?
To be honest, I think it's just from playing so much, like playing a development tour, the Pro Tour and the Challenge Tour. I'm playing every week, and I'm feeling sharp, and constantly I'm playing players at such a high level, and you have to be focused and have to be sharp. And no, I feel really good. I feel in a really good mindset just to play darts at the moment. So I'm just going to see what happens tomorrow.
And finally, what's the heat been like on stage?
It is so hot. It is really hot. Yeah, I mean, it's the moments when you're under pressure when you really feel it. But yeah, hopefully it rains tomorrow.
We don't. We want a nice day down the beach before coming here. But Owen, many congratulations. I'm assuming the WhatsApp from Cam Crabtree will be coming soon.
Yeah. Cam will. He might be here tomorrow. He might not. But he's always very supportive of me, and I think it's a vice versa thing. We want each other to do well. So it's good. Yeah.
Got to have friends on tour. Owen, many congratulations.
Thank you,
See you tomorrow night. Former weekly winner back in finals night. Next up for us, it is Benjamin Roos in action up against Trina Gulliver. We'll let Owen get down into the air-conditioned practice room, and we're going to hand back to the air-conditioned commentary box, which involves Paul Nicholson and Chris Mason describing the action.
Thank you, Henry. Well, a frightening interview if he doesn't think he's playing very well. Oh my goodness. Might as well just pack it in now. Yeah, and he's right what he says, and it's something we picked up on and mentioned all week, the fact that he's playing at different levels, but all of the time when you take into account here and the Dev Tour and the Challenge Tour and then the very elite. He is, of course, getting opportunities on the Pro Tour because of his performances elsewhere.
Yeah, he's obviously not playing his best darts when he's just put in the best daily average of the week and the best individual game average of the week.
And the highest finish with the 170 last night.
Indeed, and 60. Also winning all 4 games tonight. Any advance on that? I don't think we need to go any further. So just congratulations to Owen. Going to really enjoy watching him play tomorrow night. We have just had confirmation as well, just looking at all of the calculations in the group which have been perplexing us a little bit tonight. We have it on good authority that Rhys Griffin is now safe.
Yeah, because he's on 8 points and he's on +6.
140.
And that's the key number in leg difference.
And we've been looking at Benjamin as well. That 4-0 win for Owen Bates has just done him the biggest favour.
135.
Because what we have here is a scenario that if Benjamin wins this game,
54.
He is going to be safe as well. 2 more points. That's all it's going to take. Because his leg difference is far superior to that of Harry Gregory.
Yeah, there's an 8-leg swing. So if he wins, and even if Harry beats Rhys, he cannot close the leg
Trini
difference
require
amount.
147.
So by that token, Benjamin's actually got 2 routes to the finals on Saturday, beating Trina. But if he loses to the 10-time world champion, he needs Reese to do him a little bit of
43.
a favour.
Benjamin, you require 80.
But it will be relief for Griffin because the mission has been accomplished. He is part of the finals.
Sure is, and we're getting a
40.
tasty looking lineup for tomorrow night.
Trini, you require 104.
And it's a real mix of players who have qualified.
You know what I'm like, Mace. I love doing my numbers on a Saturday, just looking at what's happened all week.
38.
Some of
Benjamin, you
these
require
players have
40.
not collided. Some of them have. Going to be a lot of information to decipher before we start at 7:30.
Yeah, previous head-to-heads
30.
do play its part. We've seen it
Trini
before.
requires 66.
We've also seen the scenario where we've had a player play an individual 5 times, beat them 5 times, yet on
26.
finals night,
Benjamin, you
pumped.
require 10.
Oops. 555.
No score.
Can't find the mark, and Trina could take the lead.
Trini, you require 40.
a steal this would be against the darts. Benjamin wouldn't be human if he's not feeling the pressure.
30. Benjamin, you require
Has that
10.
been the Achilles heel of Gulliver over the last couple of sessions?
I
Game
certainly
shuttle
think
first leg, Benjamin
the
Drews.
scoring element and the position, especially of Dart 1, is definitely a positive.
Second leg, Trina
Is
to
it
throw
a bunch
first.
of 180s tonight.
Game on.
The darts have not been continuously low, which was hindering her, and right on cue. We get a low one. Thanks for that.
Yeah, but what I was saying a little bit earlier on about
59.
fixing something quickly, you can see results in the treble 20 and maybe the treble 19 department fairly quickly, but you need to spend a bit of time on other areas of the board.
Yeah, you need to go through your whatever routines you use on
45.
I mean, one of my favourite practice routines was 1 through to the ball. You've got to hit 2 double ones at least before you can move on to
99.
2s and 2 double 2s in one visit, and so on and so forth. Just to hone in the accuracy in the target area and just get the feel for where it is.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to need something slightly awkward.
140.
Like a 101 checkout on double 19.
Yeah.
And I'm pointing my finger directly at you, Benjamin, because nobody else has done that this week.
59.
He's actually got me on the back foot now because when he has a finish, sometimes we can predict what they're going to do, but I'm going to
100.
wait until he leaves the double now.
Yeah, it's a spotter's nightmare. And when I was really good,
100.
that little routine used to take me less than 20 minutes. Now I get bored after about an hour and quit. When I'm on double 4.
I think it's a good calibration process.
Yeah,
Actually.
that's all I used it for. Literally just getting the feel for the areas. And then I used to do the same on trebles, but just from 10 to 20.
I used to do a snakes and ladders approach
Benjamin
where
require
you had to get at
94.
least one of the double to go to the next level, but if you missed all 3, go back a step.
Yeah.
$74.
Bob Anderson created a
Trini,
game.
you
Bob's
require
27's another
126.
fabulous practice routine for doubles.
Yeah, very popular amongst the masses, that one. Bullseye for Trina.
Game
Oh,
shuttle second leg,
yeah.
Trina
Can't hit the
Gulliver.
big doubles. You can hit the smallest one on the board, though.
That was vintage Gulliver.
Third leg, Benjamin to throw first.
Which one of her 10 world titles sticks out the most? For me, it's the 10th because of the celebration at the end. Because a lot of the titles that she won with such grace and class and would just retrieve the darts and then give a hug to the opponent.
140.
But that 10th one, that meant a lot.
Yeah, there was one particular year where she had a very high average.
60. $45.
I wonder if Benjamin is aware of what he needs to do. Some players
100.
don't want to know. Some players want to know everything. And I am cast iron in my prediction that Rhys Griffin is a player who wants to know absolutely everything.
59. Benjamin, you require
But as far as the
161.
Dane is concerned, I'd be guessing. A lovely layup this is.
129.
Just about gets the single 9 he wanted. Can't ask for much more than what he did just there.
140. Benjamin, you require 32.
16 for the lead.
Game
Halfway
shot
to
the
where
third
he
leg,
wants to
Benjamin
be.
Drurus.
Yeah, 2006 she was extremely dominant en route, averaging
Fourth leg, Trina to throw first. Game on.
95.97 against a lady you mentioned a little earlier, Claire Bywalters.
Would that be your
140.
best performance in a ladies' final?
Her best performance in an actual final was against Francis in 2004. She averaged 87.03.
55.
I remember that Mikuru Suzuki first win against Winstanley. It felt as if it was destiny
45.
for Mikuru to win that title. She was destructive. And it gave us that game one of the most ridiculous
85.
statistics in the history of darts, where Lorraine Winstanley is the only person to have ever played in a World Darts final and had 100% at doubles. And
30.
she only had 2 shots.
When we think about how good Trina was, her best tournament average was 2001, the inaugural Women's World Championships. She averaged
48.
89.45 for the tournament. That's absolutely staggering.
I think that was a time, and I've written articles about this before, and I've thrown compliments Trina's
30.
way, saying that around the turn of the century, she was one of the best players in the world, male or female. She proved it at county level, at international level, at tournament level. She was just one of the
134.
best.
Not really a one-off. 2004, she averaged 88.11 for the tournament.
78.
Two treble 20s to leave a double. And that one just came out a little bit soft.
59.
Again with this shot, 2 trebles to leave a double with a single, but that makes things a bit more awkward.
55. Benjamin, you require 120.
Interesting to hear from Owen Bates before this match began as to how hot it is on the stage. When you add a few lights to the
Game
humidity
shot
of
the
the
fourth leg,
last couple of
Benjamin
days.
Drurus.
And a bit of pressure.
Yep. That is a pressure cooker environment up there, but Benjamin's up to it with that 120 out.
Fifth leg, Benjamin to throw first. Game on.
Looks like it might be curtains for Harry.
45.
Rhys Griffin really did light up that stage with game 10 in the early hours
60.
of Friday. Is he going to do it again in game 10 in the early hours of Saturday?
Oh, there's a good chance because he'll be playing with a lot of relief and a lot of freedom.
Well, what happened there?
Wait, that
40.
print you mentioned of a dart going on the board, it's happened again.
It's the old tattooing job.
Yeah, you can see, look.
Just for a moment, when that
41.
flight came out of the stem, I thought he'd snapped it.
That's what I thought.
That would be A very rare thing to happen.
And you can get a special tool now, of course, can't you? Where the where the actual threaded part of the stem gets stuck in the barrel, and you got. We used to have to heat things up or use the point, and you end up stabbing yourself a few times.
That reminds me of what my dad used to do. When we snapped the stem, it would go to the cooker, heat the point
60.
up, put it in the plastic bit that was stuck, leave it there for about 5 minutes, then twist it out.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad used to have a little electrical screwdriver. He'd put it over the stove and just melt it in and wind it out.
190.
Oh, the things we used to do. Oh, Benjamin has put in a super performance here, especially in the last couple of legs.
60. Benjamin, your choir 116.
Add to his collection of ton plus finishes. He needs a 60 and a double 18 to find his way through.
60.
Still 2 darts away from Saturday night to join Anton Östlund, Conor Heenahan.
135. Benjamin, your choir 56.
Ryan Harrington and company.
Game,
He's
shot,
too good for
and
Trina,
match. Benjamin
and he's
Bruce.
also too good for the bottom 2. He will make it to Saturday night, and he will become possibly Week 5 champion if he finds his best stuff on Saturday night. But that is the job that he needed to do. It is completed, and it means that Harry Gregory cannot find his way to the top 3, no matter what he does against Rhys Griffin after the break.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. Before the break, we confirmed that Benjamin was in to finals night, getting the better of Trina Gulliver in that particular match by 4 legs to 1. Harry Gregory can also finish on 8 points, but because of his legs difference, it's an insurmountable task to get the better of the Dane or Rhys Griffin in that particular group. So Griffin through, Benjamin through, Owen Bates the group winner, and let's see how this final game goes. In the company of your commentary team, it's Chris Mason and Paul Nicholson.
Thank you, Henry. Yep, he's on -6 is Harry, so even if he won 4-0, he'd still be on -2, and Rhys would be on +2. That's why we implement the leg difference.
It just goes to show how important yesterday was for Rhys Griffin, and that 4th game that he had against Owen Bates turned out to be the ace up the sleeve.
Yep,
First leg, Rhys
149
to
finish to
throw
win it.
first.
Because it really
Game
did
on.
give him that little bit of extra cushion that he needed here tonight. It's been a very up and down schedule, and at times we were all feeling a bit dizzy, but I fear to think what Rhys was thinking before that Gregory
28.
Bates game in Game 8, because this could be very different.
Well, I'd like to put it down to him not playing particularly well, but
45.
opening match of the night, plays Owen Bates, goes down 4-3 with a 92.19. Then walks in to a brilliant
60.
performance from Benjamin, who averaged 94.32. At 3-1-8, he's had that incredible spell.
60.
Rhys averaged 83. And then he had a beautiful performance against Trina, and that was key. 4-0, 97 average, 50% on the doubles.
Yeah, one of the best performances we've seen all week. Just when he needed it, and that'll give him that game
100.
alone. Will give him a great deal of confidence going into his first Saturday night here in Portsmouth.
Yeah, and he's had multiple of those, hasn't he?
59.
23 games this week. And amongst those 23 matches,
100.
he's had plenty of very, very good performances.
We know our 6. Who do you think is going to do it at this stage? Before we crunch all the numbers in the morning, because that's what we do. But your gut feeling.
40. Rhys require 130.
Hang about.
120. Harry
I mean,
require
it's hard to
156.
argue against Owen. He was double 18. He can find the
From
double.
first leg, Harry
Have
Gregory.
some of that.
What a shot that was.
I may be going out, he's saying, but I'm going out with a bang. What a
Second leg,
beauty.
Harry to throw first.
I don't think we'd had one
Game
of
on.
them either, have we? A 156.
Nope. Add that
That's
one
another
to
one.
the... That's going to make for great reading tomorrow. The amount of
56.
big finishes that we've had, over 130. There have been so many.
Yeah, it's hard to look past Owen Bates, but I wouldn't be
140.
surprised by anybody winning it. To be honest, it's had a feel of one of them weeks. I think
98.
we can certainly say that Owen Bates has the higher ceiling.
And one thing we will do by the end of tonight's session is we will give you the groups.
91.
Yes, when Nico joins Henry on the balcony at the end of this match, we will show you
81.
the groups. 2 groups of 3. Play each other once. The top 2 make up our semi-finals.
There's always one group that just sticks out.
140.
It'll happen again. We don't want to give you the whole thing away because we don't know the exact league positions at this stage, but we will in
99.
about
Rhys require
10 minutes.
130.
Well, yeah, because positions 2 and 3 in this group are at this time up for
90.
debate.
Harry require 167.
Because Benjamin could finish second, or Rhys could finish second.
89. Rhys require 40.
Good riposte this from Rhys.
Yeah, tops after
Game
12.
shot on the second leg, Rhys Griffin.
Very nice. Averaging 96 is Rhys with that
Third leg,
13
Rhys
dart
to
break
throw
back.
first.
I just
Game on.
wonder if Rhys is starting to get into a mould of comfort of playing in a mid-90s range. Because
44.
it seems to be happening more towards the end of the week than at any point in week 5.
Yeah, well,
94.
we look back at last night. It's funny you should mention that. And of course, he's been in the 90s multiple times tonight. Last night, excluding his opening game,
100.
which was a stinker, he averaged 94, 93, and 96.
43. $59.
I agree. He just looks comfortable in the 90s. It all looks very fuss-free.
140.
Well, certainly seeing why young Harry Gregory is spoke of so highly.
125.
I'll give you an indication of what we're talking about. Rhys Griffin, over his last 6 games in this group, is averaging
100.
92.53.
There you go.
And that is a good... Six points
Yeah.
better than the first
57.
group of the
Harry
week.
require 124.
That's a big hike.
And the fact that it's over a 6-match sample
63.
is a big enough sample.
It
Race
is,
require
because tomorrow
116.
he only has to win 4 games. I say only. In fact, he might only need to win 3. Double top.
Game shot on the
He's
third
just
leg,
doing that
Rhys
with
Griffin.
such regularity now and such ease.
Well, that throw makes it just look so, oh, so simple.
Fourth leg Harry to throw first.
So
Game on.
annoying. I would pay good money to have that throw.
140.
What a base to work from. Very much like Anton. Another throw that we've enjoyed.
Well, I'm going to
100.
pay Rhys Griffin the best possible compliment I could ever pay him right now, because I've just spotted something in his throat.
58.
Let's just see him throw these first couple of darts. Look at the position. That reminds me of John Law.
Yes.
85.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
Because of the hand position and the delivery of that forearm. It's maybe not the same speed, but the positions are very
133.
similar.
Yeah. That'd be interesting question to put to him. Is his throw modelled on anybody in
58.
particular?
Harry require 170.
You can model it on worse players, that's for sure.
86.
Is there, in the history of the game, ever been a better throw than John Lowe's?
Probably not.
We talk about
45.
throw
Harry
that
require 84.
will give you longevity. 3 world titles in 3 different decades. I rest my case, Your Honour.
44.
Next case. I think sometimes the only tendency that Rhys has is that the head position tends to drift to his left. It's only about a centimetre or 2 centimetres.
Game shot of the fourth
But
leg.
it could
Harry
make all
Gregory.
the difference. Just make sure that you're in a relaxed position with a good solid core, making sure that you're not drifting. The only thing that's changed in that fourth leg is that we now have a level game.
Fifth leg Rhys to throw first. Game on.
Lost his L style, isn't it? His sticker.
So hot on the stage that the glue can't handle it.
57.
It's not a learner sticker, I can assure you. Even the glue's melting.
83.
There's a song like that, isn't it? The glue can't handle me right now. That's a bit of a play on words, by the way.
123.
I'm sure Henry knows that track. Slightly younger than us. Like a Flow Rider or something like that.
140.
All right. Low, 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 low. That one.
45.
You know, I know how the glue can't even handle me right now. Come on, Henry, help us out. You know what it is.
Oh, don't get him singing, for goodness sake.
No.
128.
He kept me awake at Lakeside with his karaoke. Oh, we haven't seen 3 bulls.
Harry require 150.
Fancy a crack at it, Harry? Nah.
56.
That wouldn't be a last game of a session without a bit of drama involving Rhys Griffin, that's for
Harry
sure.
require 94.
That game that he had at the end of Group A, that seems like a distant memory. But he is 3-2 down.
Gregory.
Has to win the last 2 legs of this contest to leave Group B with a win.
Yeah, one of them's going to have to be against
6
the
leg
throw.
Harry to throw first.
This leg coming
Game
up right now. Averaging
58.
90 at the moment is Harry. 87 for Rhys.
57.
2 ton plus outs in the match. 116 from Rhys. 156 from Harry.
60.
I think he must just like playing late at night. Does Harry?
140. 45.
Rhys has stolen the darts.
98.
Would love to end this Group B campaign on the back of a win.
62.
And he's 70 in front plus these. Beautiful adjustment.
85.
May well have been a bit of moisture. Look to have slipped out of his hand.
60. Rhys require 121.
Could go ball first. And did. 102.
53.
He's a player that
94.
does on 82 go
Rhys requires 68.
for 54. Love that shot. Not used enough.
The 6 leg,
But he does
Rhys
get the breaker
Griffin.
throw. We've got a level game and a 1-leg shootout in our final match of this Group
7th and final
B
leg, Rhys
session.
to throw first. Game on.
Connor Heenahan, Ryan Harrington. and Tom
131.
Owen Bates, Rhys Griffin, and Benjamin Bruce
49.
make up our 6 players for tomorrow night's final. Don't forget, still time to get your tickets to join us here tomorrow night. Head over to dartshop.tv.
58.
Tickets are free. It's just a £2 booking fee.
140. 83. 38.
An untimely deflection, causing the dart to fall on the floor. Have to get this done in 2 visits. Loads of room for a max.
121.
Little deflection. Comfortably down to a 3-dart combination finish. May start
94. Rhys require
on
108.
19s. Yep, looking down. Well, could go 17s, of course. Treble 19 needs double 16. Oh, yes. Great adjustment again.
Game,
and
shot,
gets the
and
job
match,
done
Reese Griffin.
with a ton plus finish, winning 4-3 against Harry Gregory, who on debut certainly has impressed. An 88-42 for Reese in the end, 80-43, 84-39 for Gregory. Great finishing when he had a chance, 3 from 4. Talking of the finishing, he did of course have that beautiful 1-5-6 and 2 ton plus finishes for Reese Griffin, and 4 out of 6 on the doubles. Well, let's find out the groups. The boys are up on the balcony. They will let us know.
Indeed, thank you very much, Chris. And for the second night in succession, Reese Griffin has finished off with a ton plus outshot. The asset, Paul Nicholson, is alongside me up here on the balcony. Look back at what we've seen this evening. Now, these are the results then from the 10 games that we have seen tonight. And it kicked off a 4-3. It finished with a 4-3. And Reese Griffin in that final game on the right side of the equation lost out first up to Owen Bates, for whom, well, he's dominated this group.
Yeah, he's gone through the card tonight and he's done it with ease. I think the way he's playing at the minute and where he's playing a lot of the time, he said to you on the balcony here that he's playing every week. It's just a new challenge every time he wakes up in the morning. And when he wakes up on Saturday, he's going to think that this is his time to get a second weekly title.
I want to touch upon what he said up here on the balcony, because he's played some of the best darts we've seen from anybody here in this phase, this series. Probably put Darryl Pilgrim aside, but he still feels like there's more. He's still not fully happy in tune with himself. He still feels there's more levels to go.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think he's very honest with himself. He's got a ceiling of performance that we all know he's got. He's averaged 120 in the development tour this year in the best of 7 match. So we know how high he can go. But if you look at the range of his averages over the course of tonight, it's a good 30 points apart, so 77 to 107. He's going to have to tighten that up, because he knows if it goes towards the lower end of that, he is susceptible to elimination, maybe in a group or indeed in a knockout scenario.
How important will that experience be tomorrow? And also the fact that he said up here, he is relishing the opportunity to play in front of a crowd.
Yeah, he's got experience, and others have got experience of playing in front of people, but not a great deal of players when it comes to Saturday night have got experience of playing here in the heat. And I think the acknowledgement of Owen Bates about the fact that it's slightly warmer and that the conditions aren't maybe exactly what the players would want, I think that acknowledgement just says, I'm willing to do what other people aren't.
Well, elsewhere, Benjamin Drew Roos. Right, let's get back to that 101. Have you still tried to figure it out? Have you still racked your brain around it? Here it is on screen now.
I've absolutely got this one nailed. It makes no sense. Because you tell me that was going for a single 17. It wasn't. He was going for 3 double 19. As to why, you'd have to ask Benjamin.
Well, might like double 19. Who knows? Right, that was the chaos and the madness. And Owen Bates in the background, actually, he was as flawless as anybody.
Yeah, and he's someone who really knows his numbers and his roots. And he's thinking, really? There's a proper Mervyn King moment, because that really, if it was on purpose, let's just put it down to a little bit of craziness that was great to watch.
Most certainly. And as for Trina Gulliver, there was improvements tonight. Obviously changed little bits of her setup and things like that. And we saw a couple of golden moments from the Golden Girl.
Yeah, we saw some good stuff from Trina tonight. I know that she's going to be disappointed not getting into Saturday night for the first time, but I think things like a 1-2-6 checkout like that's really going to make her smile, and definitely trending in the right direction for her next challenge.
Most certainly. Right, it is the time that we all want to see. It's the Saturday group stage. But before we do that, let's round up what we have seen then in Group B. This is the final standings. Owen Bates, well, he was a comfortable winner in the end, really, wasn't he? Reese Griffin in second spot. He's been good this week. Yeah,
Reese, let's not forget that after 2 rounds of play tonight, he was in a bit of trouble. And I was looking at the table on my notepad thinking, this doesn't make for very good reading for him, but the way he handled the pressure and the way he was able to usurp other players and actually make him look like it was comfortable, I applaud him for that, because after 5 matches, it really wasn't.
Well, let's have a look then at the all-important groups for tomorrow night. Group 1, Conor Heenan, Anton Oslo and Reese Griffin. Group 2, Ryan Harrington, Owen Bates, Benjamin Drew Roos. Just won the wall over that one.
I said something in commentary tonight that usually one group sticks out. I'm going to retract on that because I think they're two very even groups. You've got Heenahan, who's won Group A this week. You've got Ursland and Rhys Griffin. That is very much a heavy Group A scenario because all three were playing in Group A earlier on. So that's a lot of research for me and Chris to do. We don't mind that. But then you've got Harrington, Bates and Benjamin. I think anybody could win Saturday night. And you know you're going to have Owen Bates as the favourite based on what he's done before, but there are a lot of people vying for his crown.
And just finally, I need to say to Paul Nicholson, congratulations on the music trivia. It was.
Well, it was the.
Yeah,
I got
obviously
it right.
it's not glue, but yeah,
okay.
the club kind of handled me right now.
Yeah, just a play on words.
Most certainly. Well, as far as Group B is concerned, well, they couldn't handle with Owen Bates. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. I'll see you tomorrow night.